Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. The Champions League has served us a classic Madrid derby in the last 16, and after the first leg it goes in Real's favour. Could today be the day Atletico turn it around and finally knock out their rivals out of this prestigious competition? That first leg ended 2-1 at the Bernabeu to Ancelotti's men, with an early opener from Rodrigo and a goal within 10 minutes of the second half, which cancelled out the Alvarez equaliser for Atletico. Simeone's side come into this affair off the back of a meltdown away from home at the weekend to Getafe. 1-0 up with 3 minutes of the 90 to play. They ended up losing 2-1 and they were down to 10 men after a Correa red card and a brace from Getafe's Aram Barry. Real won their game 2-1 at the weekend at home to Rayo Vallecano. 2 first-half goals from Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. was enough, despite a goal being conceded just before half-time from the visitors. But tonight, all focus is on the Champions League, and will this be Atletico or Real Madrid's night? We'll find out. It's a huge game, and it seems like the Champions League this season has really served up some big games in early rounds. In the playoff round, we had Manchester City take on Real Madrid. Now in the last 16, Real Madrid have got to take on Atletico. And if they beat Atletico, they more than likely will take on Arsenal, who have a 7-1 aggregate lead in their game. Then if it's Real, even Real or Atletico against Arsenal in the quarter-final, that's a huge game. So it's not going to be easy. And again, it just feels like Real Madrid are having to go through another tough run of fixtures to try and win this competition. Last season they were in a group with Union Berlin, Napoli and Braga, but then their last 16 tie was Leipzig. And then they beat Manchester City in the quarterfinals, then Bayern Munich in the semi-final, and then of course Borussia Dortmund at Wembley in the final. And again, their fixtures were pretty difficult for Real Madrid. They won 5 and lost 3 in the Champions League phase. They beat Stuttgart at home, Dortmund at home, Atalanta away, RB Salzburg at home, and Brest away as well, losing away to Lille, at home to AC Milan, and away to Liverpool. So it's not been an easy campaign for Real Madrid, but of course, with the fact that they are 15-time Champions League winners, they'll have more than enough confidence to beat anyone that stand in their way. Sorry about that. And for the home side tonight, Atletico Madrid, of course, under Diego Simeone, who's taken charge of his 115th Champions League game. And out of those 114 he's already managed, he's only lost 31 of them, 5 of them at home. And they lost, of course, in the league phase at home to Lille in 2024. They lost twice in 2021 to AC Milan and Liverpool. They lost to Chelsea in 2017 and, first of all, to Benfica in 2015. So in the Champions League, under their current manager, who they've had since December 2011, they don't really lose at home here in the Champions League. And that will be, a slight concern for Real. They know this will be a difficult place to come to. And when they last met here at the Metropolitano Stadium, it did end 1-1, which, if that ended 1-1 tonight, that would go in Real's favour because they're 2-1 up on aggregate. But it was a game where there was a huge stoppage. I commentated on the game, and you might remember it yourself, when Courtois was being thrown a lot of stuff at him by the Atletico fans once Real Madrid went 1-0 up. They went 1-0 up through Militao, who's currently out with another ACL injury, which is really sad to hear. But Militao put Real Madrid 1-0 up in the 64th minute, and then we had a good half an hour or so break. The players were taken off the pitch due to the objects being thrown at Courtois. But once they came back, the game got back underway, and Correa, who was sent off at the weekend, got a 95th minute equaliser for Atletico that night. And then in the 99th minute of the game, Llorente was sent off. Didn't have any bearing on it, the former Real Madrid man, getting sent off against his former club. But that was a bit hectic, and then since then they've also met again in the league, but at the Bernabeu that also ended 1-1, an Alvarez penalty in the first half, and then Mbappe equaliser in the second. Then of course their most recent meeting, which saw Real Madrid win 2-1, it was Rodrigo with a goal in the 4th minute, Alvarez in the 35th, and Diaz in the 55th. Bit harsh on Diaz possibly, he's on the bench tonight, but that's due to a returning Jude Bellingham, who missed the first leg with a yellow card suspension. The other change for Real Madrid is what we'll go through shortly, and we'll go through the teams in a moment, as it does look like Borussia Dortmund have gone through themselves into the quarter-final stage. They were up against Lille. It was 1-1 after the first leg, and it looks like they've won 2-1 in the second leg. And they have. They were 1-0 down as well, so brilliant result for the former finalists of last year. Borussia Dortmund have also got championship games going on. I'm sure we'll have a look at them throughout the night. But we've got both sets of players in the tunnel at the moment. Should be a really spicy encounter tonight, this one, between two Spanish giants. For Atletico, they've won 11 La Liga titles in their history, their last three coming in 2021, 2014 and 1996. And for Real Madrid, they've won 36 La Ligas, 9 since the turn of the century. As, you know, this game a decade ago was a final. Real Madrid won both. They met in the 2014 final, which Real Madrid won in extra time. Then they met in the 2016 final, which Real Madrid won on penalty kicks. So it's always a close encounter between the two, despite Real Madrid getting the upper hand most recently. Atletico have only won 3 of their last 19 games against Real Madrid in January 2024, September 2023, May 2022. Real Madrid have won 5 of their last 12. Their last away win here was back in September 2022, and that was a 2-1 win. And here are both sets of players being led out by tonight's referee of Simon Marcinak, Polish referee. You might recognise his name and his face if you can see the game. He was the referee for the World Cup final in Qatar and also the Champions League final back in 2023, as it is the road to Munich for the 2025 final. Of course, Bayern Munich are still in it, and they lost the last final they played in the home ground. You might remember that famous one against Chelsea, the Drogba equaliser and the winning penalty in the Allianz Stadium, as there is Mbappe. Slight doubt this morning. Apparently he had a few tests to see if he was going to be fit for tonight, and he is Real Madrid's number 9, and he is fit to start tonight. We'll go through both sets of starting 11 now, and it will start with Atletico. They make 2 changes from last week's first leg, and it is Jan Oblak to remain in goal. He has kept 13 clean sheets so far this season in all competitions, only one of them in the Champions League. A back four, a former Real Madrid man sent off in the home league game this season against Real Madrid, and that is Marcus Llorente. At left back will be Reynildo, who has been preferred to from Javi Galán, and 2 centre-halves of Jose Jimenez, who is making his 349th Atletico Madrid appearance, and alongside him is loanee from Barcelona, and that is Clement Lenglet, who has never scored in his previous 13 appearances against Real Madrid. A midfield 4, the son of Diego Simeone, is Giuliano Simeone. He's brought in back in 2020 from River Plate, and he's got the 1 goal so far this season in the Champions League. That came against Salzburg in the last game of the league phase. He also played 64 minutes last week in the first leg. On the left-hand side will be Conor Gallagher, the £36 million signing from Chelsea, and 2 central midfielders of Rodrigo de Paul and another former Real Madrid man of Pablo Barrios, with 2 up front. Their star signing from the summer, Julian Alvarez, who's featured in every game so far this season for the club in all competitions. He has got 7 goals so far in the Champions League, one of them coming in that first leg last week. And he'll partner alongside Antoine Griezmann, who is a hat-trick away from 200 Atletico goals. The 33-year-old will be needed, and his experience to see through Atletico to the next round, but they will have to turn around a deficit at the moment. And for Real Madrid, who have got the lead, it is Thibaut Courtois in goal. Spent 3 years at Atletico, playing in that final in 2014, where they fell to an unfortunate defeat. Back 4 of Federico Valverde, who is just a constant in the Real Madrid side, usually always fit and can play wherever needed. At left back is Ferland Mendy, who's making his 200th appearance for Real Madrid. And 2 centre-halves of Raul Asensio and Antonio Rudiger, with 3 midfielders. Urilan Tchouameni plays the €80 million signing from Monaco in July 2022. He'll play alongside Luka Modric, who's making his 140th Champions League appearance and back in the midfield after serving a suspension last week. And that is Jude Bellingham, who's got 3 Champions League goals, one of them coming in that first leg against Manchester City in the playoff round at the Etihad Stadium. On the right-hand side will be Rodrigo, who did score one of his 5 Champions League goals last week in the first leg. On the left will be Vinicius Junior, who's got 2 league goals in his last 3 games after not scoring any of the last 6 he'd played before that. And up front through the middle, on a free from PSG, it is Kylian Mbappe. He's also got 7 Champions League goals this season, and he scored a hat-trick at the Bernabeu in that playoff second leg against Manchester City. So it's like Atletico against Real, who will come out on top to book their place into the quarter-final stage, and the winner will more than likely play Arsenal, who of course have that 6-goal lead against PSV in their last 16 ties. The referee blows the whistle. Atletico kick us off, kicking left to right. Real Madrid right to left. Both teams in their home kits. And it should be a really interesting encounter tonight, as it is Longley at left centre-back for Atletico, who will go long beyond the halfway line up towards Alvarez, kicked away by Asensio, kept alive by Griezmann, and it's now with Alvarez, midway inside the Real Madrid half, goes out to the right here to De Paul, who gets a cross in, it's low, and it's flicked on towards goal, and it's already in! 30 seconds is all it takes for Atletico to get level on the aggregate scoreline, and it looks like it's been forced home by Conor Gallagher, who's been brought in tonight from the start. He had not started any of his last 4 Champions League games, but in from the start, and he's already made an instant impact in this last 16 tie. Real Madrid completely shell-shocked from this Simeone start. It was a long lay ball forward, kicked away by Asensio, only about 10 yards away where Griezmann was sliding in to kick it to Gallagher, who found Alvarez, forced it wide to De Paul, low ball in, flicked on at the near post, and it fell through to Gallagher. The flick on was from Simeone, and in the 6-yard box, Courtois didn't come out quick enough, and Gallagher got there first, right-footed finish into the bottom right corner. And what an unbelievable start for the home side. It's everything that they wanted to start off this second leg. And just over a minute and a half in, it's Real Madrid who have their lead cut already. It's Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0, 2-2 on aggregate. What a start. This is what the Champions League is all about. And we're already all level. So we've got this game on a knife edge already. Conor Gallagher with the goal. It's his first goal in the Champions League. His 2 other goals for Atletico this season came in the league against Valencia and Rayo Vallecano in game week 5 and 6. And it is Real Madrid to get a bit of a touch of the ball and try and get some control in the game. In the final third on the left wing position, it's Vinicius Jr. trying to go around the outside of Marcus Llorente, and he says no, he shuts that door, and it's lifted forward by De Paul to Griezmann. Pushed in the back by Mendy. Free kick for the home side, and you can just feel there's going to be that real edge in this game. Already bitter rivals, and in a game like this which can flow one way or the other so easily, I feel like we're going to get quite a lot of goals tonight. But Diego Simeone will be absolutely delighted with his side start. It's the 47th time he's taken on Real Madrid as a manager, the 54-year-old. He's won 12 of the previous 46, and 8 of those 12 victories have come when playing at home. As Longley gets it to the halfway line to Alvarez, his flick can't find Gallagher, cut out by Asensio. It's now Rudiger, who's been caught in possession by Griezmann, tries to play it through towards Gallagher, who gets a tackle in, but it can't quite drop to a home shirt. It's dealt with by Asensio, and it's now Modric forward to Mbappe on the right-hand side, just inside the Atletico half. Can't get away from Barrios. And it's now with Atletico again, with Gallagher on the left wing position. Shoved to the ground by Rodrigo, not seen as a foul by the referee, but Atletico can keep it moving, forcing it backwards to Oblak in the 6-yard box. Calmly plays it to the right back here of Llorente. Forward down the line here to De Paul. Back into Llorente, still in the defensive third here for the home side. Jimenez to Oblak, being closed down by Vinicius Jr. And he's had to kick it out for a corner. On this near side, it's a cheap one to give away for Atletico. After such a good start with the early goal. You know, Real Madrid scored early in the first leg. That was in the 4th minute. Atletico scored their goal in the 30th second. So it just almost cuts out any sort of tension and nerves for Atletico. You know, knowing that they're behind. They can now play pretty freely and with a bit of confidence with the fact they know they can already score in this game. It's going to be an in-swinger from the legendary midfielder Modric into the near post. It's been headed away. I don't know if we're going to get a retake of the corner here because the referee's blown his whistle. There's a bit of pushing and shoving off the ball. The referee just trying to keep this game, as cool as possible. We don't want it all kicking off already in 5 minutes. Let's get some good football played, and then maybe in the second half we can have a bit of pushing and shoving and handbags and all that sort of stuff, because we do like that as football fans. We do like the shoving and the pushing and the little bit of aggro between the two. It was Simeone and Mbappe. It will be a retaken corner, put into the near post again, headed away at the near post by Griezmann. Valverde works it back out wide to Modric. Back inside it goes towards the halfway line now to Mendy. Now in front of the centre circle is Rodrigo. Has to go to his left here to Valverde. Atletico sat deep, not quite able to push out yet. Modric on the left-hand side. Back it goes into their number 5, Jude Bellingham, who of course had his 22 number retired at Birmingham, and you can maybe see why they were thinking about that, because he's gone on to win the Champions League at such a young age. He's on the halfway line now with Valverde. Real Madrid just reset with the possession, and Atletico are absolutely fine with that. They're more than used to sitting in and defending leads or just try to stay in games. Something they weren't able to do at the weekend. Like I say, they were 1-0 up with 87 minutes played, and then they conceded in the 88th after a red card, and then lost it in added on time. Just unlike a Simeone side, really, to lose a game in that fashion. As we're over 6 minutes in, it's Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0, 2-2 on aggregate. Atletico have won the ball back in their own half, and they've got it here with Griezmann, who just sat slightly deeper with the ball, slips but keeps it moving to Barrios. It's now Deport. In behind here, looking for Simeone, overhit and into the gloves of Courtois. As Arsenal are already 1-0 up in their game. It's Zinchenko with an early goal, 8-1 on aggregate, so it does definitely now look like the winner of this tie will take on Arsenal in the quarter-finals. That'll be a very interesting game, whoever they end up taking on, as it's Modric on the far side. Having to go back to the halfway line here to Bellingham. Just moving with the play, Atletico, not exactly pressing aggressively. If there's a chance to nick the ball, they'll go for it, but they're happy for Real Madrid just to play the simple 10-yard passes around the pitch, especially not wanting to let the away side back in the lead. As it's Modric to Rodrigo, back into Modric again, just hovering towards the halfway line. Then down the line it goes to Valverde, who can keep it in on the far side, and then goes back to Luka Modric. Tchouaméni with a switch out to the left towards Vinicius Jr. It reaches him as well over the head of Llorente, touching into the box. He's on the angle, he'll go for the shot, and it comes off the back of Jimenez. And it looks like it'll be a corner possibly for Real Madrid. Beaten a bit too easily there, Marcus Llorente, with that ball over the top from Tchouaméni. And there was a positive touch forward and into the box by Vinicius Jr. He will be wanting to score tonight because his record against Atletico is pretty poor. 1 goal in 16 for him against Atletico. And that came in a Copa del Rey quarter-final home game back in January 2023. We're just ticking into the 8th minute of the game now, and it's Luka Modric going to the edge of the area to Valverde, back on the angle to Modric, crosses first time, deep, it's punched by Oblak, who was all alone, bit of nerves there maybe, as Alvarez on the edge of the box can't get it clear. It's now on the right hand side of Mbappe, can't quite take on Alvarez, who gets it back for Atletico, and he's in the left back position. He goes to his right to Conor Gallagher, who chips it forward up towards Griezmann on halfway, wins the flick on Mendy. Can he try and beat him in a foot race? No, he can't. Mendy gets there first. Back to Courtois it goes. And Real Madrid can start again in their own half. And for Real Madrid, since winning 8 consecutive away games versus Atletico between January 2008 and February 2014, Real Madrid have only won 3 of the last 17 away games against them in all competitions. So despite a healthy run against them from 08 to 14, since then, they don't win away too often against Atletico. It's a difficult place to go. You know, it's a fortress from Simeone, even in the newish stadium. It's not as new anymore. Opened back in September 2017 as Rodrigo's on a run, and he almost takes on a third Atletico player, but on the edge of the box, Barrios stops him in his tracks fairly, and he can try and set off a counter-attack here with Griezmann. Again, a loose touch from the Frenchman. It gives it to Vinicius Jr. on the left-hand side. He's driving forward with the ball. Turns back. And it's tackled by Deport. That'll be throw-in midway inside the Atletico half for the visitors. And they throw it back to the halfway line to Antonio Rudiger, who's got 2 Champions League goals, both against German sides. One of them against a former club of his, Stuttgart. He spent 4 years at that club before moving on to Roma and then Chelsea, and now he's been at Real Madrid for a good couple of years. Was injured for the first leg against Manchester City, Antonio Rudiger, but has since returned, and he is a really key figure at the back for Real Madrid. Now at the age of 32, turned 32 at the start of this month. Still Real Madrid just knocking it around in the Atletico half, not really causing too much issues for Jan Oblak in between the sticks for the home side. Bellingham, Mbappe, just all on the left-hand side at the moment for Real Madrid until Bellingham switches out to the right-hand side here to Valverde. Everything to his left now for Luka Modric, who's been given time on the ball. Goes 5 yards inside to Rodrigo, then back into Valverde. Tchouaméni. Now out to the left to Mendy, midway side the Atletico half, goes forward to Mbappe, he's dropped in for the ball, then works it further out wide here to Vinicius Jr. Mbappe again can turn and look forward, but there's no options in front of him, so has to go behind him to Tchouaméni. Now Valverde. Rodrigo, one-on-one with Reynaldo. Goes to Modric, back into Rodrigo. Back out wide now to Modric. They're moving it pretty nicely, Real Madrid, but again, just not creating any openings at the moment. 1-0 down on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Bellingham. Back into Rudiger. Everyone in an outfield shirt in the Atletico half at the moment. Vinicius Jr. goes for the switch. Cannons off the knee of Alvarez, but falls nicely for Valverde. It's now Modric. Valverde overlaps. Gives it to Rodrigo. Modric eventually works it out to Valverde in the final third. Then back it goes into Modric. Everyone behind the ball for Atletico. It's to Ferland Mendy, the left back. Down the line for Vinicius Jr. Facing away from goal. Sends it back to Rudiger. Patient play from Ancelotti's side here. Modric. Out wide it goes to Valverde. Can he work a ball in? He glides it into the far post towards Vinicius Jr. Touches it down for Bellingham. Goes outside the box to Mendy. Tchouaméni turns out. Plays it behind him to Rudiger. Then out wide to Ferland Mendy. It's a loose ball. Vinicius Jr. will chase it. And he can't keep it in. And it'll be a throw-in for Atletico. Well defended there. Because although Real Madrid weren't exactly posing too much of a threat, you've still got to keep your concentration level high so you don't allow them to create their own chance. There's Conor Gallagher with a great goal, his first in the Champions League in his career. They've played a few times for Chelsea in the competition but never scored, so what a moment for him. And he's never actually beaten Real Madrid in his career so far, Conor Gallagher. 4 games against them, and like I say, yet to come out victorious as De Paul gets it to Griezmann on halfway, but tackle from behind by Modric, sliding in and nicking the ball away. Now Rudiger on the halfway line. Modric, it goes to Raul Asensio, the number 35, 22 years of age. Good with the ball. Started 7 of the last 10 league games. And this is 4th start in a row in the Champions League. That's 13 minutes in. It's Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0. 2-2 on aggregate in this last 16 Champions League tie. Ferland Mendy on this near side. Completes a 1-2 with Vinicius Jr. Then back towards the halfway line to Tchouaméni, who's yet to score in this fixture or even in the Champions League in general. And all 3 of his Real Madrid goals in his career have come away from home, as Vinicius Jr. is dispossessed, and it can be kept in by Simeone, who just overruns it. And on the halfway line, it's a throw-in for Real Madrid, who away from home in La Liga haven't been that great. They've played 14 times away from the Bernabeu and only won 6. And they haven't won any of their last 3 away games in the league, which will be a slight concern for Carlo Ancelotti, who has his men all top of the league level with Barcelona. But of course, Barcelona have a game in hand as their game was unfortunately suspended due to the death of their club doctor just before the match. So despite being on the same points as first, Barcelona do have a game in hand and could go 1 or 3 points clear of Real Madrid. It does seem like a tight title race this season because Atletico aren't too far behind Real Madrid as well, just 1 point behind both Real Madrid and Barcelona at the top of the league. Again, just not being able to break through this Atletico wall early on, Real Madrid. They are knocking it around in the opposition half, which is always a positive. But like I say, it's just not quite causing the home side too many issues. It's Rudiger on the halfway line. Left back Mendy has it. Going across towards Asensio. It's a bit of a short ball, but he can just about keep it moving away from Julian Alvarez. Modric just on the far side of the pitch here for Real Madrid. Looking for that defence splitting pass if possible. Goes simple to Rodrigo. Inside to Mbappe. Back into Tchouaméni. Now Rudiger. Again, everyone behind the ball for Atletico. It's not an easy side to play at all. You know, that's a known fact. But still, when you watch it, you see how painful it can be for teams as Gallagher nicks it off Bellingham and plays it around the corner here for Alvarez. 1-on-1 with Asensio on the left-hand side. Not much support up there with him and plenty of white shirts tracking back. He ends up going back here into Gallagher. Well kept there by Alvarez. Bellingham with the tackle that goes in. And there's a throw-in for Atletico midway inside the Real Madrid half on the far side. Doing his defensive duties there. Jude Bellingham, who's making his 80th Real Madrid appearance, and he's already got 34 goals for them. I think as a central midfielder, that's pretty healthy numbers. Got 19 in the league last year. Jude Bellingham and 4 in the Champions League, but all of them 4 did come in the group stage of the competition. Tchouaméni deflects a pass away from Griezmann. But then De Paul wins it off Bellingham. Looks like he just wanted it more, the Argentine. It's now Alvarez, about 25 yards out, can't work a shot. Deflects off Tchouaméni to Reinildo. Then to De Paul. Back out wide to the left back. Reinildo, who can cross it in. It's a floater into the box. It's a free header though for Mendy. But then headed forward by Llorente. Controlled by Griezmann on the edge of the area. Headed forward by De Paul. Once more by Gallagher. Can't quite find the run of Alvarez in the box. Kicked away up into the sky by Rudiger. Headed forward by Jimenez. Brought down off the chest of Bellingham. Easily dispossessed though by Griezmann, who can find Alvarez facing goal. Playing it to his right to De Paul, who might fancy a strike. And it comes off the head of Rudiger. And caught by Courtois. And it's Real Madrid's ball. But Atletico looking like they can create an opportunity whenever they go forward. Bellingham looking for that ball in behind there. Llorente, and he will get the ball to Vinicius Jr., who's been held back by the Spaniard, but he can still keep away from the fullback. Vinicius Jr., corner of the box, tries to square it towards the edge of the area to Bellingham. Took away from him by Barrios, but always finds Modric, who works out wide right to Valverde. Low ball goes in and deflected behind by Jimenez. And it'll be a corner on the far side for Real Madrid. Brilliant ball in behind from Bellingham to start that move off, and Vinicius Jr. easily able to shrug off Llorente, who's just having a slight struggle at the beginning of this game to deal with Vinicius Jr., which is no embarrassment. We know how good Vinicius Jr. can be on his day. He's on 18 goals this season in all competitions. Not scored in any of his last 3 Champions League games, but did get a hat-trick in the league phase against Borussia Dortmund, as it's going to be an outswinger here from the captain, Luka Modric. Mbappe's on the deck again. Modric allowed to deliver it in, though, towards Rudiger. Header up in the air, though, by Jimenez, and then helped back in by Tchouaméni. Asensio with a back heel, then back heeled away by Llorente, up to Alvarez on the edge of the area. It's now Griezmann, lifts it out to the right to De Paul, brilliant weight on it, and Simeone takes over, and De Paul will keep the support going. On the overlap, he's found Atletico slow it down. There's not many red and white shirts up there. He goes to Griezmann in the central area, out wide to Reinildo, who will take it down the line into the final third. 1-on-1 with Rodrigo. Forced to play it back here, though, to Longley. Couple of 1-2s with Griezmann, who now has the ball at his feet and finds Barrios. Llorente. Now it's Real Madrid's turn to try and defend and keep their concentration levels high. Reinildo in space in left back position. Right-footed ball goes in and is volleyed away by, I think that was Valverde. Well, as far as Jimenez on halfway. Works it to Llorente. On this near side, Simeone. Midway inside the Real Madrid half. Running at Ferland Mendy, can't quite take on the Frenchman. His father isn't quite happy with that piece of skill. But he does help the ball out of play by tackling Jude Bellingham. And it's throwing midway inside their own half here for Real Madrid, who in terms of the league, I couldn't quite believe this when I found this out. They've not won back-to-back La Liga titles since the 06-07, 07-08 season. And they could win back-to-back titles this campaign, because they obviously won it last year with a very healthy 95 points. But it's not a given they'll win it this year again, because, like I say, Barcelona and Atletico are right up there with them at the top of La Liga. Vinicius Jr. on the edge of the box, tries to take on Llorente. And he can. And he can take on a second of De Paul, and he's on the deck, and he tries to kick it into the box there, which he has done. He's claiming for a handball. So is Mbappe. It went straight into the gloves of Oblak. The referee unmoved. He ended up on the deck there, Vinicius Jr., and just kicked it while he was on the ground. It does come off the right hand of Simeone, who's back doing his defensive work. It's very unfortunate if that was to be given. His arm, it hit his arm, but his arm looks to me like it's in a pretty natural position. But I know UEFA's rules can be slightly different on handball. It's over 20 minutes in. I'm assuming VAR might be checking it. I'm not too sure. As PSV have got an equaliser on the night. It's Arsenal 1, PSV 1, 8-2 on aggregate. Former Spurs man Ivan Perisic with the goal. As Atletico still have it in their own half here. Alvarez linking it up and finding the number 8 Pablo Barrios, whose ball is intercepted by Bellingham, but it drops to an Atletico shirt of Alvarez. Then into the space for Simeone on the right-hand side. Again, not loads of bodies up there, so they have to delay the attack as Alvarez goes to shoot from range. And it's a good 5 yards wide. He's definitely hit better than that Alvarez. It's a Real Madrid goal kick. 1-0 to the home side on the night. It's a good, strong 2-2 on aggregate. A 30-second goal from Conor Gallagher. And VAR have waved the penalty away. Again, it would be very harsh. Simeone did have his arm right by his side. Not really sure what he could have done to get his arm out of the way. And Real Madrid can build from the back with their right centre-half, Raul Asensio, who only made his debut for the club senior-wise in November of last year against Osasuna. They had a bit of a centre-back crisis with the likes of David Alaba picking up an injury, so did Militao as well. It's Tchouaméni on the halfway line. Looking to maybe try and play out to the right-hand side. Does find Modric. Furthest wide is Rodrigo, and he now has the ball. Quick 1-2 with Valverde. Still with Rodrigo wanting to go forward. But again, no real clear obvious options for him in a Real Madrid shirt. Ferland Mendy taking a touch inside from left back and then playing it out wide to Vinicius Jr. Keeps it moving. Back inside it goes to Rudiger. Tchouaméni. Valverde's got space on the far side. Tchouaméni goes for the cross himself. Headed away by Jimenez, the Uruguayan. All as far as Rodrigo. Just in front of the centre circle. Rodrigo. 1-2 with Bellingham. Then looks for Mbappe. Cut out though by Jimenez. It's now with De Paul to Griezmann. Back into Barrios. It's now De Paul again. Allowed to turn forward. Delaying his pass and goes to the left to Gallagher. Now Clement Longley on the edge of the 18-yard box. Onto his left foot, being closed down by Mbappe. Works it to Reinildo, the left back. Into a little bit more of a central area for Gallagher. Back into Longley. Need to be careful here, Atletico. Longley to the edge of the area to Barrios, who can drive forward 10 yards with the ball and then lay it off to his left to Reinildo. Down the line to Gallagher, who can keep away from the challenger Rodrigo. And then Gallagher goes back into the edge of the area here to Jimenez. 23 minutes in. Atletico lead on the night 1-0. Gallagher goal in the 30th second of the game, but it is 2-2. On aggregate, as it stands, Atletico in their own half with the ball with Barrios. Driving forward again, Vinicius Jr. with a slide tackle, and he wins the ball brilliantly, and then takes it over, and then looks for Mbappe, but it's cut out well by Jimenez, but there's a foul on Vinicius Jr. The referee's pulled it back, and in the centre circle, it'll be a Real Madrid free kick, who have definitely dominated the ball so far, since going behind, but not really creating a lot with it. The possession was pretty even in the first leg. 52% for Real Madrid, 48% for Atletico. Valverde to the edge of the area to Mbappe, who's holding it up and works it to Bellingham, who can keep it away from De Paul. Then out wide left to Mendy. Thought about the cross, but opts against it and goes to Tchouaméni 25 yards out from goal. It's now Rudiger. Valverde. Played it into the box for Mbappe, again having to hold it up, touches it into Bellingham, who can't quite keep it away from Alvarez, who now has it for Atletico. Out wide left it goes to Gallagher, asking a lot of the Englishmen, but he can keep it away from Rodrigo, and he'll look to try and get forward. He's tripped by the Brazilian, and that'll be a well-earned free kick there by Conor Gallagher, who played 50 times last season for Chelsea when they were being led by Maurizio Pochettino. Scored 7 goals in those 50 appearances in all competitions. on 3 so far this season in his first year in Spain. So free kick for Atletico on the far side, about 15 yards away from the halfway line. They're going to go long, though, down that left channel towards Simeone. Rudiger wins the header, but straight to Alvarez, who can drive into the box on the left-hand side and go for the left-footed shot. Brilliant save from Courtois. Palms it away. De Paul tries to get it back in, but it cannons off Mendy. Back towards De Paul, who touches a little loose, and Mendy can shield it out for a goal kick. And it's Atletico more likely to score, despite having barely any of the ball. We know Alvarez can work it left or right-footed, and that left-footed shot across goal had to be well saved by Thibaut Courtois. And that goal they conceded last week, Real Madrid, from Alvarez, which was an absolute corker, by the way, was the 100th goal that Thibaut Courtois has conceded in the Champions League. There's Renildo, the left-back, playing in the left-wing position in the final third, being doubled up on, though, and he can work across, but straight into the gloves of the Belgian. Just about to hit the 26th minute very shortly, and it's Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0 on the night. 2-2 on aggregate. Tchouameni just sat in between the two centre-backs as it stands. Works it out wide right here to Rodrigo. 1-on-1 with Renildo. Drives inside. Then tries to poke it through into the box of Valverde. Cut out though by Gallagher. Not many options around him. Turns back and finds Longley. It will go into the middle to De Paul. Loose ball up into the air. Headed away by Barrios. But straight through to the halfway line to Asensio. And Real Madrid can try and continue this half bit of pressure. Because they're putting Atletico under pressure with the fact that they're just having possession. But like I've mentioned a few times, not exactly doing loads with it. As Valverde, who's playing right back tonight, has it. Midway inside the Atletico half. Forced to go back to Raul Asensio. Rudiger, loads of time on the ball here for the German international. Slips it through for Bellingham, then out wide to Rodrigo, about 25 yards from goal. Out wide once more to Modric, who fakes the first cross, then shifts it to his right to Valverde. Low ball goes in at the near post, cleared away by Longley. Straight through to Asensio. Need to try and get it back forward again quickly. Modric on the far side, curling the ball in towards Mbappe, who goes over the challenger, Jimenez. And it's a corner. Did look like the last touch came off Mbappe, who's still down, holding the back of his head. Have to have a look at that one again. Cross went into Mbappe at the near post, and that's well seen. It did come off the thigh of Jimenez last. Don't see a foul though on Mbappe, to be honest. Looks like he might be looking for something there, the former PSG man. All-time leading scorer for PSG, Kylian Mbappe, scored 256 goals for them in 308 appearances. And if he scores tonight, it'll be his 25th Champions League knockout goal for the 26-year-old. Modric from the corner goes short to Rodrigo. Takes on Alvarez and shoots left-footed, but he can't quite catch it. Easy save at the near post for Jan Oblak. And it's Atletico who have the ball now in their 18-yard box. He's definitely hit better than that. Rodrigo, who's got 3 goals against Atletico in his career. And the one away, he scored one of them away from home in the 22-23 season. There's De Paul, just inside his own half, goes back to Barrios. Forward to Griezmann, lays it off towards Alvarez, cut out though by Tchouameni, who wants to go forward, shoved in the back though by Alvarez. Free kick for Real Madrid. Sloppily given away there really by Atletico. Rodrigo on that far side. Back into Asensio. Mendy, who, funnily enough, I thought was pretty much a constant for Real Madrid, but he's not been in the league. Ferland Mendy, he's only actually played 14 times in the league this season, the Frenchman. That's because Fran Garcia has been preferred to him more often than not. More so recently, Fran Garcia, the 25-year-old left-back, has started 6 of the last 8 in the league. So it's usually been Ferland Mendy starting Champions League games and Fran Garcia starting the league games at the moment. As Atletico have it far side with Gallagher. Forces it back towards Longley. Not a great ball, but he can keep it moving to Oblak here. He takes a touch, being closed down by Vinicius Jr., but can clip it back out to the left-hand side towards Alvarez. Header won by Valverde. Falls though for Griezmann on the halfway line, who will bring it forward down the left-hand side for Atletico. Reinildo bombing forward from full-back, but there's a touch from behind by Rodrigo to send it away from Griezmann. And it's now with Courtois, who slams it away beyond the halfway line up towards Mbappe on the right-hand side. Allows it to bounce and tries to run around Longley, but he can't quite do so. Throw in for Atletico, well defended by the loanee from Barcelona. Spent last season on loan at Aston Villa, Longley. And the season before that, he was on loan at Spurs. So the last 3 seasons, he has been sent out on loan from Barcelona. Clement Longley. Bellingham gets it from a header from Rudiger on the halfway line. It's now on the left here to Vinicius Jr. in the final third. Tries to knock it past Jimenez, but then he's on the cover there, Llorente, who kicks it off Vinicius Jr. And it's a goal kick for the home side. Good covering there from Marcus Llorente, 31 and a half minutes in. Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0. And of course, 2-2 on aggregate. Big kick from Oblak, header won by Rudiger, then plays it forward to Bellingham after a second clearance that needed to be made. Tchouaméni to Mbappe, out to the right now to Rodrigo. Valverde on his bike, but he works it to Mbappe, who can't quite re-find Rodrigo. Then Gallagher met by a strong challenge from Modric, but thankfully for him drops to Barrios, who on the Atletico left can try to get around Modric. Does he run out of room? No, he doesn't. Ball inside, reaches Gallagher. His pokes ball forward, can't reach Griezmann though. And it's now on the halfway line with Real Madrid, with Urilan. Tchouaméni. Now Rodrigo in the central area. Try to go forward towards Mbappe. Cut out though by Reinildo. And it's now forward to Alvarez, who's going to run towards the halfway line. Again, no real support up there with him. It's the only problem with Atletico when they win it. Not loads going on in forward areas. Llorente forward to Griezmann. Back towards the halfway line to Barrios. It's now Alvarez. Allowed to turn forward. Lays it off to Griezmann, then back into Llorente, then back forward to Griezmann on the right wing. Griezmann keeps it away from Bellingham. Brilliant bit of skill from the experienced forward. Griezmann to Gallagher, to Griezmann. As he tries to pass it on, Vinicius Jr. clips him, and it'll be a free kick for Real Madrid. It's been a frustrating half for the away side, despite all the possession. Not much to show for it. And every time Atletico go forward, they do look like scoring. Yeah, just clipped his foot there, Vinicius Jr., none on the ball and all on the man. So it's very central, this free kick. It's probably about 40-odd yards out. So they might try and work it out wide here, Atletico, for a better angle for a delivery. And they do just that. Llorente allowed to get the cross in low to the near post. And it's sliced behind by Mendy. And it will be a corner on the near side for Atletico. Just too easy for them to work that ball out wide. You knew that's what they were going to try and do because there wasn't really an angle for a cross from where the free kick was being taken from. bit of laziness from Vinicius Jr. not getting out quick enough to his man. Griezmann, in-swinger, near post, headed away by Bellingham, drops to the edge of the area to Llorente. Back out wide towards Griezmann, touching the box away from Bellingham, and then another low ball in. And it's palmed away by Courtois. Bellingham can't get the ball away. Jimenez towards the corner flag, can't take on Mendy. His clearance only goes as far as De Paul, and gets a cross in. Headed away at the near post by Rudiger. Kept alive for Atletico by Gallagher, who's forced to go back to Barrios, and then back once more to Oblak. So despite having to go all the way back to their goalkeeper, it does mean they are going to keep the possession, the home side, with 10 minutes left of this first half. And Atletico were unbeaten in their previous 10 games before that first leg. And then since the first leg, they've lost the first leg and then lost the next league game after that. And for Real Madrid, they have lost just one in their last 9 from the 5th of February. As De Paul on the right wing slips it towards the byline, Simeone, who kicks it off Rudiger. It's a corner on the near side for Atletico once again. Well won there by their right winger, Giuliano Simeone, who of course is the son of Diego Simeone, born in Rome. Does have one appearance for Argentina, the 22-year-old, and that came off the bench against Peru in the November international break. Griezmann again, this time towards the centre of the box, and the header goes well wide by Longley, just completely miscued it. A little bit of a 50p head there. And so far, the only goal in this game came from Gallagher, about 3 yards out, beating Courtois to it, who probably should have took more control of the situation, but he didn't. And it does mean we're all square overall in the tie. So it's now Real Madrid. They were back on the ball towards the far side, their right-hand side of Valverde. Takes it beyond the halfway line. Looking to go forward, but those passes just aren't on. And they haven't been all game, really. Mbappe, very deep on the ball, and he's been fouled. Shoved to the ground there by Rodrigo de Paul, who laughs at the decision because he believes he got the ball. Let's have a look. No, none of the ball there by Rodrigo de Paul. And Real Madrid have got underway. Bit of a short ball to Ferland Mendy, but he can work it back to Rudiger. Asensio to the right to Modric, just in front of the halfway line. Brings it forward. 1-2 with Rodrigo, then back to the halfway line to Asensio. 38 minutes into this game. Atletico lead on the night. And have looked more dangerous despite not having much of the ball. Rodrigo, first time ball down the line towards Bellingham. Longley will deal with it by clearing it up the field. Bellingham thought it had gone out, but Modric can volley it back forward towards Rodrigo. Can't quite get there. It's now Rodrigo de Paul on the edge of the area. Forward Simeone, he's tucked in from the right wing position into a more central area. And then Griezmann has been fouled. And it looks like there's going to be a booking given by the referee, Simon Marcinac. And it's Urilan Tchouameni with the foul. Griezmann just lifted the ball in the air with his touch and he was clipped by Tchouameni. It was clever. And now Llorente can attack down the right. Just a bit behind Simeone, but he can work it back to Llorente on the byline. Low ball in again. Cleared by Rudiger, but straight to Simeone on the edge of the area. In the corner of the box now. Plays it through for Alvarez. Brilliant ball. Alvarez with the shots. And it's a brilliant save at the near post by Courtois. Using all of his 6'6" frame there to keep that out. I think it was the left leg that ended up stopping that going into the near post. No, it was the hand. Was it 2 hands or the one? The left hand used to put it behind for a corner. And that yellow card for Tchouameni does mean he will miss the first leg of the quarter-final if Real Madrid get there. They go short. De Paul back through for Griezmann. Onto his left foot. To De Paul again, who crosses it on the angle. To the far post. The header's won and over the bar by Jose Jimenez. And it will be a goal kick for Real Madrid. 5.5 minutes left of the first 45. Technically the third 45 minutes of the tie. And we're all square at 2-2 on aggregate. At least it's not a 0-0 game. The last time we had a 0-0 game in this fixture, it was back in September 2019 at Atletico's ground. To the right back, Valverde. So goes to Rodrigo again, who's having to just drop in to receive the ball. He's not exactly getting it in very dangerous positions, unfortunately. Valverde switches it with a clip ball to Mendy. Controls it well, then goes back into the centre circle to Rudiger. To his centre-back partner, Asensio. And then back to Courtois. Good pressing and good defending from Atletico to force Real Madrid all the way back to the edge of their 18-yard box. Valverde right back. Plays it into the Atletico half to play the ball to Luka Modric. He plays it back to Valverde, made a run down the line, but Valverde switches it out instead to the left back Mendy. Touch in front of him. Then out wide it goes here to Vinicius Jr. Forward to Bellingham, inside to then Mendy. 25 yards out from goal. Griezmann slides in, loose ball drops to Tchouaméni. Works it to the right side now to Modric. Now Valverde. Modric being closed down by Alvarez. Works it to Valverde again. Then into Asensio. A bit more time on the ball for Real Madrid with the centre-back. Goes to the left to Ferland Mendy. Forward to Rodrigo, who's drifted from the right-hand side to the left. It's now with Bellingham on the near side. Back through to Rodrigo. Bellingham again. Back to Tchouaméni. Not moving it around badly, Real Madrid. Just not exactly forward and into the box enough. As Vinicius Jr. switches it brilliantly out to Valverde on the right-hand side. Towards the corner flag. Goes back on the angle here for Asensio. Inside to his left again to Rudiger, who's got an angle for a cross. He puts it in deep to the far post towards Bellingham. Bit of a miscommunication between him and Tchouaméni. And that'll be a goal kick. Both equally annoyed with each other. Tchouaméni claiming he didn't hear a Bellingham shout. Or the shout was too late. And the Bellingham header ended up with deflection off the back or the shoulder of Tchouaméni. And that'll be a goal kick for Atletico. And they're playing it out from the back already. With the central midfielder of Pablo Barrios. Works it to the right here to De Paul. Lifted up to the halfway line to Griezmann, who heads it back out wide to Simeone. It's good football from Atletico. It's free-flowing when they do have it. Griezmann on the right wing. Playing it back inside to De Paul. There's a run at the far post. Valverde heads it away, though, as he was looking for Reinildo. The header only goes as far as De Paul, so Atletico can keep the attack flowing if they possibly can. Barrios. Forward towards the edge of the area to Griezmann. Helps it out wide to Simeone. One-on-one with Mendy. Simeone into the box. Tries to find Griezmann, but it's cut out and cleared by Vinicius Jr. Pulled back there in Mbappe by Barrios. And that'll be a free kick midway inside their own half for the visitors as we close in on half-time at the moment. If we just look at... God. Press the wrong button. Yeah, 7 shots for Atletico, 3 on target. To Real Madrid, 3 shots, 1 on target. So that's what I'm saying. Atletico have made much more chances despite less of the ball. Mbappe on the left wing in the final third takes on Jimenez and puts a low ball in, and it's had to be hacked away by Barrios, and he miscued it out for a corner on the near side. Seems like every cross that goes in at the moment is a low one. I can feel like I keep saying it every time a cross goes into the box. Modric, in-swinger, deep one. Oblak comes for it and collects it. Thinking about setting off an attack quickly. He's going to kick it in behind it. And he's on his bike here, Simeone, and he will get there ahead of Rodrigo, who can kick it away from him. And they're claiming for a corner, and he's giving it. Rodrigo with the last touch. Both Simeones celebrating that corner like a goal. Oblak with the really solid distribution to find the runner Simeone down the left flank. And Simeone got there and tried to cut inside, but Rodrigo cut that off. And he kicked it out, and he could only kick it away for a corner. Not the greatest of camera angles there to see who got the last touch, but the referee's gone for an Atletico ball. Corner far side. It's going to be an in-swinger from Julian Alvarez, who's had a brilliant first season at the club, 22 goals in all competitions. Can he assist this time? He's gone near post. Bellingham heads behind for another corner. With it, minute 45. Not quite sure how much has been added on. Can't quite see at the moment. Could they possibly go on and take the lead before the break? Alvarez going for goal, and it's wide and high. And it will be half-time after the last action from that corner from Julian Alvarez. No added on time given by the referee. And at half-time, it is Atletico who lead on the night by 0-0. 2-2 on aggregate. And the first goal, and the only goal of the game so far, scored 29 seconds in, I want to say. And it was Conor Gallagher, the one who was able to put the ball home. Atletico had worked it quickly out to the right-hand side from kickoff. De Paul with a low ball in, with a little backheel flick on from Simeone. And in the 6-yard box, Courtois didn't look confident, couldn't take control of the situation. And Gallagher nipped in, and right-footed was able to slam it home from a couple of yards out into the bottom right corner. And as we spoke about all the way through this first half, Real Madrid have had so much of the ball, 62% of the possession altogether, but have not even looked like entering the Atletico Madrid box in many of the spells of possession that they've had. And every time Atletico go forward, they look like scoring. They've come close a few times already. Atletico Madrid could have easily have been up in this tie. Alvarez had a shot that was well saved in the 25th minute of the match. Griezmann also had a shot that was on target, and it meant that Courtois had to make a save. So despite dominating the game in terms of possession, Real Madrid, it's been Atletico Madrid who have dominated the opportunities at goal. And at half-time here at the Metropolitano Stadium, it's Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0, 2-2 on aggregate. I'm going to go for half-time, have a quick break, and I'll be back for the second half. So come back in 15 minutes' time for the second half of Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid. Will we get a winner within 90 minutes, or will we be forced to penalties in extra time? We'll have to wait and see. But at the minute, it's 1-0 on the night to Atletico, 2-2 on aggregate at half-time of the second leg. Hello, we are back for the second half of this Madrid derby in the Champions League last 16 in this 24-25 season. Atletico on the Knights have the lead 1-0. Gallagher in the 29th second of the game got Atletico level on aggregate to make it 2-2. Not quite started the second half yet. We've got the Real Madrid players exiting the tunnel to re-enter the pitch. Not quite sure if Atletico are already on the pitch. Not quite sure, can't see at the moment. But it's got a few stats here for you. For Atletico, they have lost the first leg in 6 previous Champions League ties and have come back to progress in 3 of those 6. All 3 instances coming when they've lost the first leg away. So it does seem like if they are ever to turn it around, it is usually when they lose away from home first, which makes sense because in the second leg you then play at home and you've got the crowd on your side, bit of momentum, and you can always turn it around. The 3 times where they have come back after losing the first leg was against Leverkusen in 2015 in the last 16, against Barcelona in 2016 in the quarter-final stage, and against Inter Milan last season in the last 16 stage. You might remember that one went to penalties and they progressed through. So it does, like I say, make sense, especially when Atletico come back here to play at this stadium or the previous one. You know, like I say, it's a cauldron. This stadium looks impressive. It looks absolutely massive. And we know how up for these games Atletico fans can be. Maybe sometimes going a bit too over the top, like last time these two sides played here in the league game when Courtois had objects thrown at him from the crowd. But we are back underway. Real Madrid to kick us off, kicking left to right. Atletico right to left. Courtois with the ball, goes long up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Free piece of control there for Barrios, not under any pressure. Plays it inside to De Paul, then switches it to the right here, and he finds Simeone, who lays it off to Griezmann. Back through for Simeone on the right-hand side, about 10 yards inside the Real Madrid half. Just backheels it into Griezmann, who's got a bit of a free roaming role in this Atletico side. I feel like I'm seeing him pop up in loads of different areas at the moment. Forgot to start the timer, as always. Just give me one moment. As it's all the way back with Oblak on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's now with Jose Jimenez, the Uruguayan, who signed a new contract extension in October 2023 to keep his stay at the club till at least 2028. As Griezmann has it was a diagonal ball to Simeone, and he's kept it alive and found the Frenchman. Griezmann, left-footed, into a more central area, lays off at Alvarez, edges the box. Can he fire the shot towards goal? He can. Had to get down low there, Courtois, and parry it away from goal. It's out on the Atletico right-hand side. Llorente forward from full-back. Works it to Simeone. Low ball in towards Alvarez. Can keep it under control. De Paul. Back into Llorente. Doesn't fancy the cross. Back out wide to De Paul, who will put a ball in again to Alvarez, who can control it on the edge of the box. Lays it off for De Paul, who lifts it into the box towards Gallagher. Deflects and then headed away by Rudiger. Oh, as far as De Paul. Tries to play it forward to Simeone. Loses out, though, there to Modric, who can just about keep it alive, but then has to poke it out of play. He was surrounded by 3 red and white shirts there. Luka Modric, who's not quite having the best of games tonight. Just not able to find any defence splitting passes, but I think that's more down to the structure of the Atletico Madrid defence. 39 years old now, Modric. Turns 40 in September. His contract does expire at the end of this season. Did score in the Euros as well. It was his 5th Euros in the summer for Modric. Did come on as a late sub in the final at the back end of last season against Dortmund at Wembley. Foul there, though, on De Paul from Vinicius Jr. De Paul just letting the referee know how many fouls that is now for the Brazilian. Try to nick it there, but just hand in the back from Real Madrid's number 7. And it forced De Paul to go over. But there's the Alvarez shot again on target. Pretty comfortable save for Courtois, but still had to be made. And it's still Atletico Madrid getting all the shots away in this game at the moment. Tried to play it quickly there, Atletico, and they got into the box with, I think it was Llorente. The referee, I don't think, had blown his whistle. Griezmann with a wry smile about the situation. I think he might have known that he was going a bit too quickly. He now blows the whistle to go short to Griezmann using De Paul. It's now Llorente on the right-hand side. Last touch off Vinicius Jr. Corner kick on the far side. As it's Atletico started the brighter, just over 3 minutes into the second 45 of this second leg. You feel like set pieces will be a strong point for Atletico. Plenty of height in there. Good delivery in swinger, but it's headed away by Rodrigo at the near post. Tried to be kept alive by De Paul, but too much height on his pass towards Griezmann. And in the left-back position, it's a Real Madrid throw-in with their left-back Ferland Mendy, who was at the Euros for France, but didn't play a single minute of the tournament, unfortunately. Did play every minute of the knockout stages last season of the Champions League, the French left-back, who assisted in the first leg for Real Madrid in that 2-1 win. He throws it down the line to Bellingham, who tries to turn last touch off the Englishman. That will be a throw-in for Atletico. It's now with De Paul. Plays it forward towards Alvarez, just a bit too much on it. Cut out by Rudiger. It's now Bellingham again on the ball. Caught. Yes. Free kick for Real Madrid inside their own half. Referee just again making sure nothing boils over off the ball. It's now with Luka Modric to the halfway line to the right back of Federico Valverde. He was actually sent off against Real Madrid. You might remember it in the Super Cup final, right at the end in extra time, I think it was. It was on Morata, chopping him down as he was going to go one-on-one with, I think, Courtois, who was in goal, I think. And I think he even was congratulated by Simeone at the end of the game. That's kind of the behaviour the tackle was. It was a very Simeone-like tackle, taking no prisoners. He was sent off that day, Valverde, and it's his only red card for Real Madrid. And that came back in January 2020. Just before COVID, that Super Cup final. Gironildo, the left back for Atletico, trying to get beyond the Uruguayan of Valverde, but he can't quite do so. Works it to Asensio, back to Courtois. Alvarez closing it down, but he can play it forward and outside the box now to Tchouameni. Finds Valverde, who will drive inside here, laid off for Modric. It's now in the left centre half of Rudiger, 5.5 minutes into the second half. Still 1-0 on the night. Mbappe on halfway, dropping in to receive the ball. No one up there now for Real Madrid. As Mbappe looks to try and switch out to the right. There's a bit of space here for Rodrigo. It'll go to Valverde first. Now with Rodrigo in the final third. It's a 2-on-2 here on the right-hand side. Plays it into Valverde on the edge of the box. Then Rodrigo again, then back to Asensio. Bit of a frustrating watch this, really, at times. Just can never see Real Madrid actually getting through to create anything half decent. And that's nothing against Real Madrid. It's more the how solid Atletico are being. Tchouameni gets frustrated and shoots with his left foot, and that is shocking. Genuinely about 10 or 15 yards wide there. Off-balance, left-footed Carlo Ancelotti. Not the happiest of men. As for Ancelotti, in the first leg, it was his 125th win as a manager in the Champions League. Very impressive. His first game in charge of a Champions League game was for Parma, and it was a 0-0 draw against Sparta Prague back in September 1997. Coming up to 28 years since that first game in charge for Ancelotti in this competition. Now at the age of 65. What an iconic manager. 5 Champions Leagues, 2 with AC Milan, and the 3 with the Real Madrid. One of them against Atletico in that 2014 final in Lisbon. Was it Lisbon? It was Benfica, wasn't it? Can't quite remember. I think it was in Benfica's stadium, I want to say. As we're 7 minutes in to the second half. It's Atletico in the defensive third. Last touch off Valverde as he puts a tackle in there on Valverde, on Gallagher. And that's a throw-in for Atletico on this near side. Long leg clears forward, headed on by Griezmann, straight off the chest of Tchouameni on halfway. And Real Madrid have it back. Not an easy game, though, for Atletico. It only gets harder, really. They've got Barcelona at home at the weekend, and then after the international break, they're at Espanyol away, and then they've got their second leg in the Copa del Rey against Barcelona in the semi-finals. Mendy slips on the ball, and Simeone can take it beyond him, and he goes round him. Simeone bursting away down the right-hand side. There is no one up there with him, really. He lays it back, though, to De Paul, and then through for the runner. Llorente tries the cross. It deflects just wide of the post. And it's a corner on the near side for Atletico. Ferland Mendy not happy with his boots, making him lose his footing. Not once, but twice. He tried to get up and he just could not get back to his feet. And eventually Llorente with the ball in. And it deflects towards the far post and behind for for that corner. Alvarez with the in-swinger. If anyone looks like scoring, it is the home side. Alvarez into the 6-yard box. Tchouameni heads it towards the far post, where it's gone behind for another corner. On the opposite side this time around. Real Madrid have progressed from 21 of their last 22 Champions League ties where they've won the first leg. And the only time where they haven't gone through after winning the first leg was against Ajax in the last 16 back in 2019, which was under Ancelotti. Sorry, that wasn't under Ancelotti, but when they've played under Ancelotti, whenever they've won the first leg, they've gone on and progressed. He's 9 out of 9 for that. So they don't want to lose that 100% record as Griezmann this time crosses it in. Header at the near post away by Bellingham this time around. Back forward by Barrios into the box, headed on by Reinildo. Overhead kick away there by Rudiger. And it's a loose piece of control by Simeone, throwing midway inside the Real Madrid half for the Travellers. Just 4 miles between both of their stadiums, actually. Atletico and Real Madrid. Rudiger bringing it forward from the edge of the Real Madrid box. He is allowed to bring it towards the halfway line without any pressure on him. Mbappe in the centre circle. He keeps dropping really deep for the ball because he's just not seeing it. If he doesn't drop deep, sprays it to Rodrigo on the right. It's now Modric on the angle. Does he fancy a ball in? No, he won't. He'll go down the line to Rodrigo. Modric. Back to Asensio. Rodrigo again. Back into Modric. Simeone commanding when his team press. Who closes who down. It's very intense, but it gets results. Rudiger with that switch out to the right. It's a low ball and it's worked as well. That's brilliant. 1-on-1 Reinildo. Rodrigo into the box onto his weaker left foot. Delivers the ball in. Headed away by Llorente. Back to where it came from. So Rodrigo can keep this alive. Flicks it back here to Modric. Valverde's just tucked in a little bit from that right back position. Switches it to the left to Mendy. Rudiger. To Valverde again from afar. Thought about the shot but goes back out wide to Modric. Then on once more to Rodrigo. Into the box. Crosses low and it's Bellingham who's tackled in the area. Really vital challenge in there by Jimenez and it's cleared away from the home side. Almost a really big chance from around 8 yards out there for Jude Bellingham. But stopped in his tracks by the Uruguayan centre-half. As this is probably the most dangerous Real Madrid have looked in this game. With those balls played out wide to Rodrigo. Who's looking slightly more of a threat than Vinicius Jr. on the opposite flank. Still with Real Madrid. Everyone behind the ball for Atletico until they play it forward to Bellingham. Lays it off for Rodrigo. Needs a bit more movement off the ball there. Not much going on. A bit flat at times for Ancelotti's side. Vinicius Jr. Caught as he released it. Vantage played. Vinicius Jr. stays down. It was a late one from Simeone. Vinicius Jr. back to his feet. Not sure if Simeone will be booked after the passage of play is over. Tchouameni, midway inside the Atletico half. Tries to go forward to Bellingham. Cut out though by Barrios. Alvarez to Griezmann. And then into the space for Reinildo on this left-hand side. It's brilliantly worked by Atletico. Reinildo, he's got pace. He's going to charge forward into the box. Can he get around Asensio? No, he can't. And that'll be a goal kick. Asensio just brought to the ground. Maybe just caught on his Achilles there by Reinildo. Unlucky there from the Mozambique fullback. That's where he was born. That's who he represents. The number 23 for Atletico. Really turned the burners on there. Quick bit of pace. It's his 99th appearance for the club. Reinildo, who unfortunately suffered an ACL injury back in 2023. Doesn't seem like he's lost too much pace though. He really got going there. Once he'd received the ball from Griezmann. I don't think Simeone was booked for that late challenge on Vinicius Jr., which wasn't whistled for a foul because Real Madrid still had possession of the ball. They've got over half an hour to try and get a winner, because I don't think any of these two sides will want extra time. Throwing in the right wing position for Real Madrid. Thrown back to Valverde by Rodrigo because they want to try and take it as quickly as possible. Rudiger can't quite get on the end of the pass, and it's put forward by Simeone. Does De Paul have the pace on Asensio? No, he doesn't. What a sliding challenge that is from Raul Asensio. He had to get that right, because if he doesn't, either De Paul's away or Asensio gets himself sent off. It was a bit of a wayward crossfield pass there towards Rudiger, who just didn't quite get to the ball first. Simeone did instead. Then a big touch forward from Simeone. Just couldn't quite get its way to De Paul because Asensio came over. As is the booking here, I think, for Real Madrid. Mbappe asking the question. Let's have a look. Simeone was driving with it, and Vinicius Jr. just catches him and trips him over. I'm guessing that's an accumulation of fouls, because I don't think that one on its own is necessarily a yellow. But maybe, like I say, the total number of fouls Vinicius Jr. has committed may have meant he's received that yellow card. It's about 30 or so yards out, just was the right-hand side. It's going to be a delivery in from De Paul into the box, headed on by Longley, and a couple of yards wide from the Frenchman. Not too far away. Scored twice in all competitions this season from the back, Longley. Just the one league goal against Rayo Vallecano away from home in late November. Good outswinging ball that from De Paul. It just almost hit the side of his face there, Longley. As we'll just have a look at the other games around the grounds in the Champions League. Arsenal 2-1 up against PSV, but they do have that 7-1 lead from the first leg, so not too much really to worry about. Aston Villa are 2-0 up. Asensio and Maatsen with the goals, so they're 5-1 up on aggregate, and they'll be going to the last 8 where they will take on PSG, I believe, Aston Villa. And of course in this game it's Atletico 1, Real Madrid 0, 2-2 on aggregate, just under half an hour of the 90 to play. Modric back to Rodrigo, everyone behind the ball for Atletico, that's how deep they're sitting at the moment. Modric tries to lift it towards the edge of the box to Valverde, headed away though by Barrios, can't be kept alive by Alvarez. It's almost like, because the game is in such a set way, I don't think managers will really want to make too many changes, because whoever they bring on has got to get up to speed with the game quick in terms of who they're marking, who they're pressing, what positions they're taking up on the pitch. As Mendy can't quite find the ball back to Mbappe in the 18-yard box. Jimenez clips it forward down the right here towards Alvarez for Atletico. Comes off the leg of Mendy, drops to Tchouaméni. And Real Madrid have it back with Asensio, the number 35. Back across it goes to Antonio Rudiger. Played every minute at the Euros, home Euros as well, wasn't it, for Germany? Knocked out though in the quarter-final stage by Spain. Scored 104 goals this season in all competitions, Real Madrid, in their first 45 games of the season. So, they do usually find the net in a game, even if it does mean a win, draw or defeat. Lost 8 all season, Real Madrid. Modric on the left-hand side this time. Bellingham midway side, the Atletico half. Everyone behind the ball for the home side. It's Rudiger. Goes to his right here to Asensio. Into Rodrigo, who's almost took a hold of the midfielder role there with the ball. Goes to his left to Modric. Now Mendy, everything to his right. Ends up going back here to Modric. Putting the ball across to Asensio at right centre-half. Now Valverde. One-on-one with Reinildo. Goes inside to Rodrigo. To Valverde again. Back into Asensio. Patient play from Real Madrid. So with Rudiger. All the time in the world on the ball. Quickly shifts it though to his left to Modric. Clips it to Valverde. A bit of space here for the number 8. First time lay off here to Rodrigo. Back into Bellingham. And across to Modric. About 30 so yards out for the Croatian. Goes to the left to Vinicius Jr. Cross goes in. Loops in the air via deflection. Mbappe can't head it on. Headed away in the end by Longley. But not cleared very far for Atletico. Vinicius Jr. tackled that time by the right back Llorente. And it's now with Simeone on that right-hand side. Chops back for Atletico, facing his own goal. Finds a ball inside, though, to Barrios. That's good play. And then chipped out to the left of Renildo. They've got themselves out of a bit of danger there, Atletico. And they've done it really calmly and effectively. Looks like Real Madrid are going to make some changes. With the next pause in play. Longley left centre-back for Atletico in their own half. Bit of possession for the home side. They're not having much of it. But like I say, every time they've got it and they get it forward, they look like they could possibly get the ball in the back of the net. Ball towards the halfway line, towards Alvarez, who loses out to Asensio. And Alvarez in the centre circle, lay it off to his right to DePaul, his international teammate. Into the space now for Griezmann. On once more to Simeone, that right wing position, one-on-one with Mendy. Lays it off to DePaul, chips it in towards Alvarez, header away in the 18-yard box from Rudiger. It's now with Modric. Lifts it over Llorente and chests it down. Modric with the ball, tries to play it through towards Vinicius Jr., cut out by Jimenez. Bellingham gets on the seconds and gets it out to the left to Mbappe, who returns it to Bellingham, who's brought down by DePaul, just in front of the halfway line. And that will be a free kick for Real Madrid. Lovely piece of skill there by Luka Modric when he lifted the ball over Marcus Llorente. Still got it, still at the age of 39. Not started any of the last 3 Champions League games, Modric, but clearly Ancelotti wanted his experience tonight. And he only wants his experience until now, because Modric has been replaced after 65 minutes. The captain's off, and he's been replaced by Camavinga. And the second change, we'll see Tchouaméni come off for Lucas Vazquez, who now takes the armband. So Lucas Vazquez has gone to right back, and it means Valverde will now play in a more natural central midfield position. Maybe just wanting a bit more energy in that middle of the park, Ancelotti. And Valverde can bring that bit of a box-to-box player. Valverde in front of the centre circle, playing it to the right to Asensio. Bit of time and space for Rodrigo if he finds him, and he can. Rodrigo driving inside onto his weaker left foot. Forces it back out wide though. Asensio to Vazquez. Back into Asensio. He sees a switch on to Vinicius Jr. Has he got enough power on it to reach him? Does just about reach him. Caught late though by Simeone. And that'll be a booking. And that's because of an accumulation of fouls for him as well. So for Vinicius Jr., he's in the book. And so is Simeone. The Asensio switch just about reached the Brazilian, who had to let the ball run across him to keep it in. And as he released it, I feel like Simeone only had one idea in mind, and that was to bring down the number 7. Very vocal on the pitch, isn't he, Vinicius Jr.? Likes to give it out big time because of that confidence that he's got. You know, himself and the Real Madrid felt obviously that it was a bit unlucky to not win the Ballon d'Or as the resulting free kick is crossed in and straight into the gloves of Oblak, who rolls it to Gallagher. And then into the path here now of Barrios. Not a lot going on around him in terms of support. Barrios does have it, kicked from behind by Vazquez. No, says the referee. It's actually poked away from him. And Real Madrid have it back. Centre circle. And then forward 10 yards to Bellingham in a central area. Can he slip it through for Vinicius Jr.? Headed away by Llorente. Now into the box to Longley. Forward it goes to DePaul. Beats the presser Rodrigo. Quarter of the game to go. Still all square and aggregate. Real Madrid just not created enough at all, despite having so much of the ball. Longley just in front of the halfway line. Out wide left it goes to Renildo. Can he get around Vazquez, the captain? He can. Can he cross? No, he chops back. And then plays it back to Gallagher, who will then deliver it far post towards Simeone, who heads it backwards to Griezmann. Touch just gets away from him, and Camavinga can bring it away for Real Madrid. Finds Vinicius Jr. into the middle of the park now for Bellingham. Forward to Mbappe. One-on-one with Longley. Jimenez is also there to help him. Mbappe beyond Jimenez. And away from Longley, down in the box. Penalty. It's the first time in the game that space is opened up for Real Madrid, and they have exploited it. The pure pace from Mbappe was simply too much for the two Atletico Madrid centre-halves. Lost it in the 18-yard box at the other end with Griezmann's poor touch. Camavinga found Vinicius Jr. into the middle to Bellingham, who played it quickly beyond the halfway line to find Mbappe, who just drifted to the right slightly and then was driving inside into a more central area, skipped beyond Jimenez, got beyond Longley, and the loney centre-back held him back, brought him down, and as long as that was definitely in the box, that will be a penalty. Definitely looks like it was in the 18-yard area. Clement Longley, the guilty party, has been booked. And this could be a pivotal moment in the last 16 tie of this Madrid derby. And it looks like it won't be Kylian Mbappe to take it. Vinicius Jr. has claimed it. He's only scored once in his previous 16 games against Atletico. Pretty poor record on paper. But if he scores this penalty, this will be the real goal that matters. Very central run-up to start off with. Then just shuffles over to his left. Vinicius Jr. puts it over the bar, and it stays 2-2 on aggregate. His rotten run against Atletico Madrid continues. I cannot believe Kylian Mbappe has not took that penalty. Wanted to go for the top right corner, and oh my word. Got so underneath it. Obviously he had to send it over the bar, but that is so high. It's not skimmed the crossbar. It's not just gone over. It has cleared the crossbar. And it remains 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. And an Mbappe 1 penalty is missed by Vinicius Jr. And it remains 2-2 on aggregate. And that will just lift those Atletico Madrid fans even more. Not like they need any more energy, but they've just been given some. I can say that is the first time tonight space has opened up for Real Madrid. And they absolutely played through the Atletico team. Oh, great glancing header by Griezmann to find De Paul on halfway. It's now out to the right to Simeone. They've got to get bodies up there quicker. Simeone running at Mendy in the box. He's going to fancy the strike in at the near post. It's saved by Courtois. And my word, I can imagine the volume in that stadium is just getting louder and louder. Nothing beats a penalty save from your goalkeeper in a home match when you need them to save it. But that time, Oblak wasn't required. Vinicius Jr. just sent that absolutely flying over the crossbar. Cross in, headed away by Rudiger on the 6-yard line. Back out to where it was taken to Alvarez, who can turn away from Vinicius Jr. He delivers the ball back in, and it's caught by Courtois. Good catch from the Belgian there. He's going to throw it out quickly. It's a huge throw. Headed away, though, for Atletico. Out wide left it goes. And that will be a throw-in for Real Madrid. 18 minutes left of the 90. It's still 1-0, and we've had a Vinicius Jr. missed penalty. Not got a great record in the knockout stages. No idea what I'm saying. Vinicius Jr. with the ball, though. Cross deflects to Rodrigo towards the byline. Just about keeps it in, but then loses out to Rodrigo De Paul. Yeah, for Vinicius Jr. in his knockout game goals, this is what I was meant to say. Dispossessed De Paul. Vinicius Jr. has it, gets away from Jimenez. Vinicius Jr. angles tight, cross goes in. Vasquez with the header, easily saved by Jan Oblak at the near post. Yeah, for Vinicius Jr., his knockout goals are split in half. Sorry, his Champions League goals are split in half. He scored 14 at home and 14 away. So 28 goals in his previous 65 Champions League appearances. Couldn't quite add to it tonight, though, yet, from the penalty spot. Longley. Looking for the next option. Not loads for him. Lays it off to Gallagher, who's almost took up a left-back position at the moment. Plays it into the midfield to Barrios, who just seems so calm and collected in that midfield. It can be chaotic playing that position in a Simeone side. You've got to be so disciplined. Long lay again, taking it into the Real Madrid half, kicking it off the head of Rodrigo. And that's a throw-in for Atletico, about 10 yards inside the Real Madrid half on this near side. Will we get a winner in 90? Vinicius Jr. had his chance, but absolutely blazed it over the bar. There, Real Madrid bench clearly showing their disappointment. I just can't believe Mbappe's not took it. That is absolutely ridiculous for me. He won it, and we know he can take a penalty. Showed that in the World Cup final. I think he scored twice, didn't he, against Emi Martinez, if I'm not mistaken. There's an opening for Atletico here. Griezmann with the ball, left-footed from afar. He struck it straight at Courtois. Still 1-0 on the night. Rolls it to Valverde. Touches a bit loose, but works it to Bellingham. And then backheels it back into Valverde. That's a risky ball with the backheel, but it looked brilliant. And Vinicius Jr. in behind for Rodrigo. Into the box. The angle is tight. Reinildo comes across and times it to perfection. Then tripped over himself by Rodrigo. And that's a free kick. And that is defending at the highest quality. Time that wrong, and it's a second take of a penalty for Real Madrid. Again, finding space a bit more now, Real Madrid. Is the concentration maybe slipping for Simeone's side? Possibly. Rodrigo bearing down a goal, try to cut inside, and Reinildo said, no thank you. Shut that door, locked it, threw the keys away, won himself a foul. And it's a free kick for Atletico in their own 18-yard box at the moment. Big kick forward from Oblak, glanced backwards by Vázquez. Can they avoid a throw-in? No, they can't. In the final third, it's a throw-in for Atletico Madrid. Not really rushing to take it because they've not got that many players forward at the moment. Been a bit of a story of the game. When they get breaking, Atletico just don't have the numbers forward to really cause too many issues. Kicked away though by Rodrigo. Poor giveaway by Reinildo. Mbappe battling on halfway with Jimenez. Helped out by Barrios. And Atletico have it back in their own half. Forced into the 18-yard box here to Oblak. Quickly plays it to the right back of Llorente. Slows it down. Runs away from Vinicius Jr. Then lays it off for Griezmann. Into Deport. Still on the Atletico right-hand side. Down the line towards Llorente. Kicked out of play though by Mendy. 14 minutes to go. It's not been kicked out. It's bounced back in. And it's Atletico can keep it alive and keep it going. Gallagher to Reinildo. Midway side the Real Madrid half. Tries to go back inside to Gallagher. Cut out though by Valverde, who kicks out there a little bit. Possibly at Reinildo. No one makes anything of it, so maybe I'm just seeing things. But it looks like he was not very happy with the challenge there, Valverde. He's a ball in behind into the box towards Alvarez, cut out easily by Rudiger, but then Mendy takes too long. Alvarez goes down over the challenge, and that will be a free kick on the right-hand side for Atletico. Not what they needed here, Real Madrid. They're already under the cosh a little bit due to the fact that Vinicius Jr. missed that penalty to give them the lead in the tie. Just took too long, didn't see Alvarez coming for him, and he trips him, and that is that. Foul and a free kick. It's going to be Griezmann to cross it in. It's like a better angled corner, this. And he crosses it in straight to Courtois' hands. Right in the 6-yard box, too close to the Belgian. We've got to remember he's 6'6". So if you put a delivery in too close, it'll be his all day long as Valverde takes some heavy touches to get into the Atletico half and plays it into the path here of Rodrigo. Back inside to Valverde. Vázquez. Not stayed on side. Flag goes up. Free kick in the left-back position for the home side as Real Madrid make another change. And it's going to be Rodrigo. Surprising that. That does surprise me. I'm not saying Vinicius Jr. would ever be taken off because they need a goal. But for me, Rodrigo's been the better of the two. Maybe he'll get a bit of frustration from that. The fact that Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. are staying on, despite, for me, them two have been slightly quieter at times. Of course, Mbappe won the penalty. He has his moments, and that's probably why they're staying on, because Vinicius Junior and Mbappe have their moments, probably more so than Rodrigo, but a little bit harsh. But Rodrigo is substituted off for Brahim Diaz, who scored the winner in the first leg, just at the start of the second half. Vázquez for Real Madrid. Does he fancy a cross in the box? No, he doesn't. Back into Brahim Diaz. First few touches on the ball for the Moroccan, formerly of Manchester City. Brahim Diaz trying to get the return ball from Vázquez. Shoves Gallagher to the ground and wins a throw-in. Last touch off the Englishman. Not strong enough challenge for a free kick for Atletico. Still on the near side. They're trying to break through this Atletico Madrid defence. Real Madrid. Valverde, 11 minutes to go. Still 2-2 on aggregate, despite that Vinicius Junior missed penalty. On this near side again with Vázquez. It's not opening up for Real Madrid. And when it has, and pretty much the only time it has, they've won a penalty from it. So just got to be patient if they can, despite it's pretty much been 80 minutes of keep ball for the away side. Valverde keeps away from Alvarez. Rudiger can go left or right. Plays it to his right to Camavinga. Not really seen too much of him since coming on to the pitch about 14 minutes ago. Vázquez easily turns Gallagher. Diaz back into Vázquez. Diaz again. Now finds Bellingham. Can't quite get around Longley. Goes back to Camavinga. Across to the left to Rudiger. Just got to try and play as quickly as possible, Real Madrid. Mbappe, crossfield ball to Vázquez. Controls it brilliantly with the chest. Then tries to deliver, but it comes off the side of Reinildo. And it'll be a corner on the near side for Real Madrid. They've already won a game late in the knockout stages of the Champions League, turning it around very late on against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, and then absolutely gave them a proper beating in the second leg, 3-0 at the Bernabeu. Kylian Mbappe, 3-1 wasn't it? City got a consolation at the end with the Gonzalez, but the Mbappe hat-trick sent them through. Still waiting to take this corner. It'll be an outswinger from Vázquez. Near post again, glanced on and then cleared for Atletico Madrid. Now Mendy, who goes all the way back to Courtois, but as he plays it back, looks like Ferland Mendy is pulled up. Oh, what a real shame for Ferland Mendy. Soon as he went to kick that ball backwards, he felt the hamstring go. So it looks like Fran Garcia will have to come on for Real Madrid. The number 20 left back, who's actually cousins with Koke, the usual Atletico Madrid captain. He's out injured though. He's missed the last 6 games now, injured Koke. So it looks like it will have to be a like-for-like change with Fran Garcia to come on. Straight away, Ferland Mendy knew the hamstring had gone. Hopefully that's nothing long-term for the Frenchman. So, Mendy off for Garcia. Played plenty of football this season. Fran Garcia played 31 times in all competitions last season. He's already played 33 now this season. Only one appearance, though, in the Champions League in his previous 5, and that was as a late sub against Manchester City in that first leg at the Etihad. Like I say, he's mainly been preferred to Mendy in La Liga. So we're back underway. 7 minutes to go, plus we'll have a little bit of added on time with that stoppage from Ferland Mendy. Brahim Diaz on the right wing for Real Madrid, pulled down by Longley. And that'll be a free kick on the right-hand side. It's a good angle for a delivery in this as well. Just a bit too tricky with the footwork there, Brahim Diaz, and it forced Longley to foul him. It's going to be a ball into the box from Vázquez, the substitute, on his 75th Champions League appearance. Ball in towards Bellingham, flicked on and hooked away by Gallagher. As far as Brahim Diaz on the right side of the box. Can he take on Alvarez? No, he can't. Vázquez, though, helps him out but overruns it. And that'll be a goal kick for Atletico Madrid. Remains level on aggregate. His extra time is looking more of a possibility the further we go on. And eventually we're going to get an Atletico change. Their first of the night. And it's their goal scorer, 29 seconds in, Conor Gallagher. It's his first ever career Champions League goal. And he's going to be replaced here by Samuel Lino, who's provided 3 assists in the Champions League this year. And the 25-year-old comes on for the last 5 minutes of the 90. And then possibly for extra time as well. Bellingham can't quite find Brahim Diaz. The clearance is poor from Atletico. Down the right-hand side into Brahim Diaz. It's now back into Valverde. Everyone behind the ball for the home side. Valverde to Brahim Diaz again on the right wing. Running at Ronaldo. Towards the byline. Plays it back though to Bellingham. Takes the touch. Tries to cross it left-footed, but it's cut out by Lino. Who goes forward to Griezmann. Holds it up and then plays it back out wide to Lino. All the options he's got is backwards and he plays a risky ball, but it works brilliantly as he finds Jimenez, who works it to the halfway line to De Paul. Out wide it goes to Simeone, who tries to find the run there of Llorente, but the ball deflects back to him and he puts it across to Lino. 25 yards out, right footed, goes for the shot straight down the throat to Courtois. Piece of cake for the goalkeeper. And he's already played the ball to Valverde. Now to Mbappe, whose touch just gets away from him. Referee potentially in the way. Play continues. It's Simeone again on right wing. Midway inside the Real Madrid half. Lays it back off for De Paul, who just stood right next to him. Tries to go inside to Barrios. Cut out by Mbappe, who wins it back for his side. Running past Barrios. Then easily brought down by Griezmann. Not seen as a foul by the referee. Longley. Forward to Lino. Back into Barrios in the centre circle. Works himself away from Bellingham. Now on the right side to Llorente. Griezmann allowed to look forward. Griezmann with it from the right hand side, cutting onto his left foot. Can't get away though from Camavinga, whose tackle finds Bellingham, turns away from Longley, looks for Mbappe. It's a vital interception by Jimenez. And it's now Alvarez on the halfway line, looking for the ball in behind here for Simeone, who's brought down by Garcia. But there's no foul in it, according to the referee. To the dismay of mainly the Atletico Madrid fans, who thought that Simeone had won his side a free kick there towards the edge of the box. But it's now Real Madrid to bring it forward. Will we get a late winner? Out to the left to Vinicius Jr. Missed a penalty and been rather quiet, but can he turn up now? Goes on the outside of Llorente, then overruns it. Tackled by Jimenez in the end. Who can lift it down the line, looking for the run of Simeone, but too much on it. One back by Bellingham. 2.5 minutes to go, the 90. And it's Bellingham down the left-hand side for Real Madrid. Leaves it for Garcia, the left-back. Starts again with Rudiger just in front of the halfway line. Now to his right, 5 yards to Camavinga. Big switch out towards Brahim Diaz. It's straight on his chest. And then Diaz gets onto his left foot. No, he can't because he's tackled by Lino. And then kicked forward by Valverde. I think wanting a deflection for a corner. Never came. Goal kick for our black to take. 2 more changes for Atletico, and you could see this one coming. He was just starting to run out of steam. Giuliano Simeone on that right-hand side, he's grafted all night. He's put in a really solid performance, and he'll be replaced by the man who got red carded at the weekend, Angel Correa. It was his 5th red card of his Atletico career. And the next change, again, probably just a bit of fresh legs. He's now 33 years of age, Griezmann. Can't quite see out the full 90 and potentially extra time, so he'll be substituted off for Alexander Sorloth, the striker they brought in the summer from Villarreal. Scored 23 goals last season. The Norwegian striker, 4 of them in a 4-4 draw at home against Real Madrid. So he knows how to score against this side. 4 in one game, and they're the only goals he's ever scored against Real Madrid as well, because he's faced them 9 times previously. Atletico have it as we edge towards the 90th minute. A lifted ball in behind, down the right-hand side for Correa. Gets there, beats Rudiger. Needs to lay it off, but he's gone for goal and put it over the bar. Oh, there's a pass on for Alvarez, and he does not look at it. Straight off the bench, he could have been the man to create the magic moment. Down the right side in the box, he lifts over Rudiger. It's great skill. Alvarez is asking for it, and he needs to supply him, but he doesn't. Sends it over the bar. What a chance that is. And it remains 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate, and we're going to have 4 minutes added on before potentially entering extra time. Atletico have it down the right. De Paul just charging forward into the final third. Cuts it back. Edge of the box. Correa wants to go for it, but he's tackled by Camavinga. Vital tackle. And Real Madrid now have it in their own half with Vinicius Jr. Knocks it around De Paul, who looks absolutely gone himself in terms of his legs. But the big tackle from Llorente means that Atletico have it back. On that right side with De Paul, Llorente try to get forward. De Paul goes for the ball in anyway, and it's headed away by Rudiger. Back to De Paul. To Alvarez. Back out wide to Llorente. There's time for a ball, but he goes for the pass low. Looking for Lino. Probably should have crossed it because they've got a 6'5" Alexander Sorloth in the box. But the pass isn't good enough, and out for a goal kick. Does look like we'll be getting extra time here potentially. Yeah, Rodrigo De Paul down, struggling with a bit of cramp. That's what I mean when you play in that midfield position for Atletico. It's going to take it out of you. It involves a whole lot of running and a lot of concentration, which can be physically and mentally tough to take. Minute and a half into the added on time. It's Real Madrid with it, just towards the halfway line on this near side with Brahim Diaz. Could he be the match winner again, potentially, for his team? And play's been stopped because Real Madrid are not really doing much with it. And it looks like Rodrigo De Paul's night is over, which is a huge loss. He's been an absolute monster in that midfield. And he has started 9 of the Champions League games he's featured in this season. 10 out of 10 now. Don't really have an out-and-out central midfield to replace him with, to be completely honest. There isn't one on the bench. You know, Koke would be that player, but he's out injured at the moment. He's back to his feet. They could do with him carrying on, really. Atletico are going to make a change. They're going to bring on their number 16, Nahuel Molina, the right back. So that would probably mean Llorente goes into central midfield. So yeah, De Paul will be coming off. So De Paul off for Molina. So Molina will go right back and Llorente will go into central midfield. So we're about to play the four. We're about to hit the 4th minute, but we'll obviously get a little bit extra due to that substitution being made. Long ball by Real Madrid. Header won though by Ronaldo. Tries to get it back to Ronaldo through Lino, but he loses out to Diaz, who plays it inside. That is a risky ball, and it's been picked up by Llorente. Lino back into Llorente on the halfway line, and he can bring it forward. A little bit of space opening up for him. Slots it in behind for Sorloth, who looks offside as he made his run. Flag has now gone up eventually. That'll be a free kick for Real Madrid. He's got to try and stay onside there, the Norwegian. Looked offside, and he was as the ball was played. It's all down to the referee now, how much extra we play. Vinicius Jr., ball down the middle. It's lifted one up towards Bellingham. Headed away by Longley. Hooked up into the air by Barrios. Headed backwards by Valverde to keep it to Rudiger. And we are staring extra time in the face at the moment. Vinicius Jr. ball forward towards Mbappe. Can't quite reach the Frenchman. Through to the goalkeeper of Oblak, who throws it out to the right side here. It's a risky throw. Finds his man. Ball played forward, but that will be that. Extra time is upon us. 1-0 on the night. A goal in the 29th second from Conor Gallagher was enough for Atletico to force extra time. So extra time is what we're going to get. Not the most exciting of football matches to watch, must admit. Been a lot of attack versus defence, but we're going to get extra time. Someone's got to be the moment. Someone's got to be the man of the moment. Someone's got to be the villain in this game. Someone's got to give. Something's got to give, and it probably will. Will it be decided in extra time, or will it have to be spot kicks? So let's go around the ground. Let's see what some of the other score lines were. So in the Championship, Hull beat Oxford 2-1. Leeds beat Millwall 2-0. Plymouth away from home with 10 men beat Portsmouth 2-1. After they've just beat Leeds at home at the weekend. So big result for Plymouth. 1-0 win for Watford against Swansea. Tom Cleverley recently marking his 1 year in charge of Watford, which is a big achievement in itself. And Stoke just about holding on to a 1-0 lead here at home to Blackburn. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff. In the Champions League, the earlier kickoff, so Dortmund progressed to the last 8, beating Lille 2-1 in France to win 3-2 on aggregate. Arsenal's game with PSV ended 2-2, but 9-3 on aggregate, so a pretty stress-free night for the Gunners. And Aston Villa 3-0 winners against Club Brugge, who were down to 10 men after the 17th minute. Asensio with 2, 1 assisted by Bailey, 1 by Rashford, and Maatsen scoring in between. So they're the other results around the ground as we just wait for extra time to get going here at the Metropolitano. So at least we're going to have 2 English sides in the quarter-final stage. Aston Villa will be taking on PSG. Arsenal will be taking on Atletico or Real Madrid, depending on how the game goes. Not sure on the other games, must admit. So it'll be PSG, Villa, Barcelona against Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, and then Arsenal against either of these 2 sides. That's a tasty looking quarter-final draw. I'm looking forward to all those games, if I'm going to be completely honest. So about to get underway for the first half of extra time at the Metropolitano. It'll be Real Madrid to kick off, kicking right to left. Atletico left to right. Can they be separated with 30 extra minutes of football? Or will we need penalties to decide it? Just waiting for the referee's whistle here. Don't know what's taking so long. There we go. Whistle eventually blown. Mbappe goes to Valverde. And we're back underway. Got to remember there'll be a lot of tired legs now. It's been more of a mentally draining game than physically, really. It's been a lot of just passing around from Real Madrid without creating a whole deal. We did have a penalty missed by Vinicius Jr. with about 20 minutes left to play. Blazed over the bar as he was trying to aim for the top right corner. And here is the man, Vinicius Jr., forced to go back after pressure from Correa. Rudiger to Asensio at the back for Real Madrid. Back to Rudiger, Champions League winner with Chelsea. Mbappe to Bellingham in the central area. Curls it out to the right-hand side here to Brahim Diaz. One-on-one with Lino. Plays it back into Valverde. And across to the left to Garcia, who had to come on for Mendy, who pulled up with what looked like a suspected hamstring injury. Garcia works himself down the line and puts the ball into the 6-yard box. Too high. Easily caught by Jan Oblak, who's going to kick it long. It's a huge kick in behind for Correa, who needs to bring it down, and he does. What a touch. Correa squares in, and what an interception from Rudiger. In the 6-yard box, he simply had to get there. And he did. Corner taken quickly, with Alvarez now on it. Quick 1-2 again with Correa. Maybe they took it too quickly. Alvarez to Correa. Touch takes him out of the box. Then he's tackled by Bellingham, who wins the ball. Mbappe to Valverde. His pass deflects, but he wins it back as it comes to Vázquez. Oh my days, that kick out of his hands from Oblak was unbelievable. And then the touch from Correa right in his path. But possibly could have gone for the shot himself. Went unselfish, tried to find Sorloth on the cutback. But Rudiger there sliding in. Legendary interception. That's what wins you these trophies. Everyone now in the Atletico Madrid half, other than Thibaut Courtois. Asensio bringing it forward from centre-back and then laying it off to his right here to Vázquez. Valverde in front of the centre circle. To the left this time to Garcia. Furthest left is Vinicius Jr. and he's been found. Goes on the outside of Correa. Crosses in left-footed. Deflects to the edge of the box here. Shot towards goal and it's too close to Oblak. Looked lively and he's looked really good since coming on Brahim Diaz. Got the winner in the first leg. Scored his other Champions League goal in the first leg in the playoff game against Manchester City. As there's a foul there in the midfield. Correa caught by Bellingham, who's not happy at all. Few naughty words coming out of the mouth of the Birmingham-born central midfielder that I will not repeat. What a ping that was by Oblak, by the way. The ping's really good, but that touch from Correa to bring it down into his path was just sublime. Rudiger showing why he's one of the best central defenders in the world. Llorente crosses into the box, header from Sorloth, straight at Courtois, who throws it out to the right. The pace of the game is still pretty quick, despite we've already played, we've added on time within the 90 minutes. We're coming up to 100 minutes played. Just ticking over the 94th minute on the clock as it stands. Bellingham to Diaz. Keeps it away from Reinildo. 25 yards out, just towards the right-hand side here. Goes to his right himself to Vazquez. Back inside to Diaz. Bellingham making a late run, doesn't use him. Just goes to Vazquez, keeps it simple. Vazquez on it to Diaz again. Vazquez stays on side. He's been played the ball. Keeps it in just about. And then forced to go back, but passes it straight to Alvarez. He's not really got a lot going on around him. Holds it up well. And then played forward brilliantly into Sorloth. Needs to hold it up. And he does do just that. Really good from Sorloth. Switches on for Alvarez. Lifts it to Correa. Leaves it though. That's a brilliant dummy to Molina. Late substitute in the game. Finds Correa. Slips it into the box. Almost gets to Llorente. In vital touch that from Garcia. Cleared by Courtois. Headed forward by Llorente. By Lenormand. There's been a change full time. Lenglet's been replaced by Lenormand. He's on. The French centre-back. The Spanish centre-back. Once French. Now represents Spain after living in Spain for over 8 years. And we've got another Atletico player down here. They've had to kick it out of play. Is it cramp or is it more than cramp? It might be cramp here for the left-back, Ronaldo. Just try to deal with Vinicius Jr. Looks like he might have overstretched as well. So Ronaldo, after a little bit of medical treatment, is walking off the pitch. And he's applauding the supporters. So he's going to have to be brought off it. Ronaldo. He'd only played one of the last 5 Champions League games. And that was against Leverkusen in the league phase. Simeone obviously saw his attributes and felt he would have been good in this game tonight. And he's had to be replaced by Cesar Azpilicueta, the 35-year-old. Who's going to have to do a shift at left-back. Which he did many times for Chelsea. He's predominantly right-footed, though. Need him to be on it. 98 minutes played. Long ball from Oblak, held up by Sorloth. Lays it off to his right hit to Molina, who will keep this in on the near side. And find a ball into the centre of the midfield here to Barrios. Puts a ball into the far post towards Sorloth, who will try the volley. He just doesn't catch it. Out for a goal kick. That could have been a naughty little goal, that, for Atletico. If Sorloth had just volleyed that into the back of the net. Real Madrid to play out from the back. Midway inside their own half here with Rudiger. Valverde taking it over the halfway line. Mbappe drops in, gets it, links it with Bellingham. Who's just looking out to the left-hand side. About 25 yards from goal, Bellingham. Puts a lifted ball out to the right instead. Vazquez brings it down, lays it off Valverde. Low ball to Diaz, back to goal, but can return it to Valverde, who will get the ball across. And no one's there to tap it home. Bellingham kicks the post in frustration. Valverde punches himself in the head in frustration. Diaz has been a bit of a game changer for Real Madrid. He's been superb tonight. Probably a little bit harsh that he didn't start the game. Brilliant link up with Valverde and Diaz, and Valverde puts it right across the 6-yard area, but Bellingham arrived too late. An Atletico sloppy ball. Throw in for Real Madrid. Garcia takes it, throws it back to Rudiger. That's a huge chance, by the way. With the Valverde ball across the box. Would have been Bellingham's 12th goal of the season in all competitions. Bellingham has it. Tries to switch it again. Slightly sliced. But there's not enough power for it to go out. So, despite having to retreat for the ball, he has kept it in Vázquez. Diaz, about 5 yards in front of the halfway line on the Real Madrid right-hand side. Finds Vázquez, the captain. Back into Asensio, the centre-back. Camavinga. Again, not really too involved in the game, Camavinga, since coming on. Replacing Luka Modric. Mbappe on the right has it. Lays it off to Vázquez. No one in the box for Real Madrid. Literally nobody, despite Diaz having it on the edge of the area. Bellingham now in a more central position. Lays it to his left to Valverde. Looking for the running behind from Vinicius Jr. Didn't make the run, and it can be not seen behind by Correa. Last touch off the Argentine for a corner. Tried to see it behind, but it did come off his foot. A little bit of panic there. It's going to be an in-swinger here from Lucas Vázquez. Ball in, near post again. Header won though in an Atletico shirt and then headed on towards Correa, who can try and take on Valverde. No. Sandwich between him and Vinicius Jr. Went down, no foul. Valverde now out to the right to Mbappe. Mbappe goes for an early cross. Lino Man heads away up to Sorloth, who loses out to Camavinga, but his kick goes out to the Atletico left, where they try and play it in behind, but he's overhit it there. And Lino can't keep it in. Throw in for Real Madrid. 101.5 minutes played. Still all level in aggregate. Cannot be separated at the moment, these two Madrid sides. Vinicius Jr. down the line for Garcia. Forward from left back. Takes on his man. Puts the ball across. And Barrios deals with it. Kicks it up into the air. Back towards Garcia, who heads it towards goal. And into the clubs of Oblak. Chance there. Did well. Got beyond Jimenez pretty easily, Garcia. Put the ball back in the box. Wasn't really, well, clearly wasn't good enough. Oblak, huge kick forward. Headed though by Rudiger. Glanced by Bellingham, but straight to Jimenez, who heads it forward to Barrios. Does kick it forward, but can't find Alvarez. He's gone a lot. Alvarez, who's gone a little bit quiet in the game. It's been lively, but back end of the second half and extra time, you've not heard too much of his name. Courtois goes long into the Atletico half. It's seen out by Aspilicueta, and that will be a throw-in for the home side. Throw-in for their number 3. Thrown to Alvarez. Tackled by Vázquez, but drops to Barrios. Alvarez again, lifting it out to the right-hand side here to Correa. Molina joining in, getting forward from fullback, and he's been found. Molina running at Garcia. Can't get beyond him yet. Goes on the outside of him, crosses it off him, deflects back to Molina. Left-footed ball goes in, and it's caught by Courtois. Just lacked attacking quality this game, really, altogether. If we're going to be completely honest, don't know if that's nerves, potentially. Camavinga, ball over the top for Vinicius Jr. Flag stays down for now. Vinicius Jr. on the edge of the box. Oh, beyond one. Sits Jimenez down on his right foot. Angled tight. Has to go to the edge of the area towards Valverde. Brilliant tackle from Alvarez. Cleared in the end up towards Sorloth, who can't hold it up. Hold it up front for Atletico. Camavinga switches it to the right. We're nearly at extra time, half time. It would be a unbelievable time to get a goal for Real Madrid right before the break. Vázquez in the final third, one-on-one with Lino, has to go back into Valverde. Diaz. Back to Valverde. Diaz again. Tackled by Azpilicueta, but then he's been tackled by Vázquez. Camavinga. Bellingham. To the left now to Rudiger. It's now Fran Garcia. Down the line for Vinicius Jr. One-on-one with Molina. Vinicius Jr. brought to the ground by the full-back. Not enough in it at all. And Atletico will try and break. Big sliding challenge in by Bellingham. And that's Real Madrid back in possession. Bellingham having a bit of go with Vinicius Jr. there because he stayed down after not getting the foul, which didn't seem like a foul to me. 2 minutes added on at the end of this first period of extra time. Camavinga. Bellingham. Into Brahim Diaz. Fouled on the edge of the box. Towards the corner of the box on the right-hand side. He's just trying to put a foot in there, Azpilicueta, just to kick the ball away. But instead of kicking the ball, looked like he's kicked the man there. The angle's a bit wide for a shot. The distance is there. Looks like it's just going to have to be a good delivery in. Vázquez tries to catch out the goalkeeper and he's just glanced aside netting. Oh, I don't know about that choice. I see what he was going for. Laid off to him by Diaz. But you've got to at least get that on target. Make Oblak make the save. Goal kick. Looks like we're probably not going to have any more chances in this first half. Oblak goes long, headed on by Sorloth, controlled by Lino. Alvarez can bring it forward, away from Camavinga. Alvarez onto his right foot, shoots, but it's blocked. Probably should have played the pass to the right side, where it deflects to. Correa can't feed it to Llorente. Gone out of play off Garcia. Thrown in the final third for Atletico Madrid. Running out of time here. If they want to try and get something done before the whistle goes again. Llorente gets the ball returned to him from the throw-in. Back to Molina. Then inside it goes to Barrios. And we've had half-time indicated from the referee with the blow of the whistle. It is half-time. Still, same as we were. 2-2 on aggregate. Just lacking that real creative edge at the moment in this game. A lot of tied legs are now appearing. Simeone rallying his team in a team huddle, giving them some instructions, which he's been doing all night. He is one almighty animated character on that sideline. Simeone, I know that's what he's known for, but my word, it's intense when you watch him and the way he tries to direct his team around the pitch. This is game 7-2-3 in charge of Atletico for Simeone, by the way. 429 wins, 156 draws, 136 defeats. Only picked up one defeat in his opening 14 in all competitions in charge of the club. Got announced and appointed in the December of 2011, but his first game was in the January of 2012. Atletico haven't lost a Champions League knockout match at one of their home stadiums since a 3-2 defeat to Ajax in March 1997. They are unbeaten in their last 18 at home in Champions League knockout games. 11 wins, 7 draws. Simeone again trying to be the orchestra of the home crowd, trying to get them up for it as we're off in the second half. Atletico right to left. Real Madrid kicking left to right. Atletico have got us underway. Long ball down the right for Atletico. Dealt with by Fran Garcia. Can't be kept in by Molina. In their defensive third. That's where the throw-in is for Real Madrid. Taken to Camavinga. Back heels it through to Vinicius Jr. Then back it goes to Garcia, who kicks it off. I think that's Correa. And it's a throw-in taken by Garcia, thrown backwards to Asensio. Takes on Soroff. That's risky, but it did work. Cleared. Headed forward, though, by Molina. Up towards Alvarez, but seen through to Courtois. It's now to Bellingham, who's just drifted to this right-hand side. He's got Diaz to his right. Plays it to him. Valverde to Bellingham. Still on the right-hand side. Keeps it away from Lino. Valverde. 1-2 with Bellingham. Slips it through for Diaz. Will he get a shot off? No, the angle's now tight. Can't quite work a chance. And it will be a corner. Last chance, last touch off Azpilicueta. Should have shot earlier there, Brahim Diaz. I don't know why he tried to take that extra touch and forced himself further wide. Got to get that shot off, but he just hesitated. He literally looked like he was going to shoot and then didn't. A little bit frustrating, that one to watch. Outswinger from Vazquez to the edge of the area. Brought down by Camavinga. Can he get a shot off? Camavinga works it to Asensio, who loses out, and now there could be a break on. Alvarez, can he play it inside? No, he can't. Tackled really well. And Real Madrid can go forward again. Valverde down the right. Got to get the cross in. He does, and it comes off Barrios to the near post, where it's saved by Oblak, who wants to get the ball sent away. And he throws it into the path here of Angel Correa on the right wing. Was that Molina? I think it was Molina, the fullback, and he's been tackled brilliantly by Mbappe, who slides in. Vinicius Jr. on the left wing. Keeps it away from Llorente. Vinicius Jr. crosses. Far post. Diaz controls. Lays it behind him to Vazquez. Crosses far post. And it can be dealt with by Molina. Rudiger was still in there from the corner. And it's cleared away, and it'll be a throw-in for Real Madrid. Fancied himself there, Antonio Rudiger. Who's scored twice this season, both in the Champions League. Bellingham tries to switch it to Vazquez. Instead went to Mbappe on the edge of the box, but it's chested away by Azpilicueta. Barrios tries to play it through towards Soroff, but cut out on the halfway line by Camavinga. Just a risky ball. Got to keep it simple in this situation. Diaz finds the run of Vazquez. Back into the middle of the park here to Valverde. Bellingham onto his right foot. Thought about the shot. Lays it off to Diaz. Out wide now to Vazquez. Tries that low ball. Cannons off Lino. And that'll be another corner for Real Madrid, I believe. Don't think it's a throw-in. Vazquez has not put one good delivery in so far. Could have potentially jinxed that. Deeper one this time. Header won by Rudiger. Deflects around in the box towards Asensio. Forced away from goal. Brings Vazquez back into play. Fakes the first cross. Asensio to the edge of the area. To Camavinga. Valverde. Across it goes to Fran Garcia. Been closed down by Correa. Works it to the left of Vinicius Jr. Can't get around. Barrios. Brilliant defensive work. And Atletico win it back. Barrios. Down the line for Llorente. Inside for Correa. Can he return it to Llorente? He tries the outside of the boot ball, but Camavinga slides in. Gets the last touch off Llorente, and it's a throw-in in the left-back position for Real Madrid. Huge challenge and a well-timed one by Eduardo Camavinga. Still just 22 years of age, by the way, Camavinga. That's an absolute joke. Brought in August 2021 from Stade Rennais for £34.4 million. Preferred to Modric was the one who Ancelotti went with at the start, but Camavinga's come on since, and he just made a vital tackle. Bellingham's still going, and on the right wing, you'll put a ball in, but no one's there. Shocking ball. Easy catch for Oblak in the 6-yard area. And with 10 minutes to go, will we get a winner before penalties? It's on the edge of the 18-yard box here with Jose Jimenez, who's been here for well over 10 years now. 349 appearances now for the club, for their number 2. Scored 13 goals for them. Just the 1 red card, surprisingly. Usually South Americans are a little bit more hot-headed with the tackling and the picking up the red cards. Lino on halfway on this near side, played it into a more central area here to Llorente in the centre circle. Forward towards Alvarez, cut out by Valverde. That could cost Atletico because Camavinga now brings it away towards the Real Madrid right-hand side. Pace has to be slowed down slightly because there's not loads of options on. Vázquez can go forward to Diaz. Tries to play a ball through towards Bellingham. Won back though by Aspilicueta, who can kick it off Vázquez, throwing on the halfway line for Simeone's men. Takes it quickly, throws it back into his own half here to Llorente. He's wanting some options. Goes to Alvarez. Aspilicueta back towards, I think that's Barrios, accidentally off the hand of Bellingham, who missed the first leg with a yellow card suspension. Short ball by Jimenez, just about reached there by Molina. Here's Jimenez again, midway side his own half. Finds Aspilicueta. Lino, the left winger, still just inside his own half. Has to go back into Jimenez. 8 minutes to play before potential penalties. Lino Mann, the centre-back, bringing it beyond the halfway line. Goes out wide. Gets the ball returned to him. Lino Mann in a right wing position, the centre-back. Last touch comes off Fran Garcia. Oh no, the linesman got it wrong. The last touch came off the Atletico Madrid player, and it'll be a throw-in for the away side. Overruled there, the linesman, by the referee, Simon Marciniak. Garcia throws it across the box towards Asensio, just about keeps it moving. Valverde, keeps it moving because Soloff was putting him under some pressure there. Bellingham gets away from Aspilicueta and plays it down the right-hand side into a bit of space. Barrios gets there, but there was no advantage. And that will be a yellow card. Caught him late there. Aspilicueta. Like I said, the ball was played and the referee just waited to see if Brahim Diaz would get to the ball first, but he didn't, so he rightfully pulled it back to give the free kick and a yellow card for Aspilicueta. Still looks decently fresh, Bellingham, which is a bit of a worry. Mbappe in the box, almost cuts in for a chance. Jimenez gets across and tackles him. He concedes a corner, but my word, that's better than what could have been that chance for Mbappe. Vázquez was the one who slotted it in behind. And that's really good defending. That right leg just getting across to tackle the ball. Still a chance though for Real Madrid. Danger not over yet. Vázquez again will deliver in. Deeper one again. Headed by Bellingham to the right side of the box to Diaz, who is tackled fairly by Correa, who can bring it forward for Atletico. Balled down by Vázquez. And that'll be a free kick for Atletico Madrid, who want to take it quickly, but they can't because Vázquez has gone down holding his stomach because the Atletico Madrid player tried to take it off him. Play acting, of course. And Vázquez is going to get a booking here for his foul. And Llorente's been booked for a bit of afters with Vázquez. Big tackle there by Correa. Just too easy for him to really shove Diaz off the ball. And like I say, then Vázquez tripped Correa. And Vázquez quickly picked the ball up and tried to hold it. An Atletico player tried to knock it out of him, and then apparently he's trying to say that he was hit in the stomach. Load of rubbish. It ends up with 2 players booked. Change for Real Madrid. Not really been his night for Vinicius Jr., who will come off one Brazilian off and another one comes on. Endrick replaces him, the 18-year-old, turns 19 in July. Yeah, missed a penalty in around the 70th minute, Vinicius Jr., and he's just not really had too many clear-cut chances. He's caused a few problems for the full-back on the right side for Atletico, whoever that might be, if it was Llorente or Molina. But in terms of actual clear-cut chances, he's not really had many tonight, the number 7, and Ancelotti obviously doesn't fancy him taking a penalty again after missing the one within 90 minutes. So he's off for Endrick, and Endrick hasn't really been playing a lot of football recently in terms of solid minutes. Just the one start in the Champions League, which was in their away defeat to Lille. Just 6 goals all season, 4 in 4 in the Copa del Rey, 1 in the Champions League in the opening game against Stuttgart. As Atletico have it on the right-hand side, cross deflects in, control from, I think that was Alvarez, but just away from him, cleared by Valverde. 4 minutes to go. It's Lenormand on the ball, substituted at the start of extra time for Longley. Brought in the summer from Sociedad, Lenormand. Just the 2 wins against Real Madrid in his career. 1 at home and 1 away as Lino shoved to the ground by Vázquez, who's just been booked. Needs to be careful. And that'll be a free kick for Atletico Madrid to take. Edging ever closer to penalties here. If your team is in the penalty shootout, it's probably the most nerve-wracking experience, but when your team isn't, it's such a fun spectacle. As Sorloth brought down by Asensio this time around. Good hold-up play from the Norwegian. Got absolutely nowhere near the ball there as well. Asensio. Chance to put it in the box here for Atletico Madrid, because you more than likely feel like a goal from any of these two sides at this point will be the winner. It's about 40-50 yards out. It's Alvarez who's going to put it in. Clearly their best delivery taker. In it goes. Headed and won by, I think, Bellingham. It drops to the edge of the area towards Llorente. Never looked like he was going to be confident over that first time strike. And it will be a goal kick. Header won by Asensio, it was, in fact. And then, like I said, on the edge of the box, met the ball first time. Llorente completely sliced it. And it was far, far away. Did that actually come off a Real Madrid man? That looked like it came off a Real Madrid player. Looked like that came off Garcia. I'm not sure if I'm right there. A goal kick was given and no one really complained. Well, I thought that might have took a slight nick off Garcia there. We play on with Bellingham. Just in front of the centre circle. He sees a late run from Garcia from left back. He's going to look for him, but he overcooks the pass. Throw in next to the corner flag. For Atletico, we are 2 minutes away from penalties in this Madrid derby. I've certainly seen better football matches than this, but just the pure tension has made it quite the spectacle. Ball up to Correa, who can turn Camavinga, but from behind he can get around him and kick the ball away from the Argentine. And it's now with Courtois in the 18-yard box. No pressure on him. Takes his time here, Courtois. Goes to his left to Rudiger. 90 seconds to go. Camavinga. Loads of space here for Vázquez. If he can get the ball out to him. And here he is, beyond the halfway line now. Vázquez into the middle to Bellingham. And then back to Camavinga. Mbappe. Tackle by Lenormand. And then a long ball forward from Atletico, but aimless, into the Real Madrid half. Llorente just didn't fancy chasing it, and I don't blame him. He's played the full game, played right back in central midfield, and he just did not fancy chasing that one down. That's why, especially in extra time, when you've played so much football, just keep it short. Don't go for hopeless long balls over the top, because you're just pretty much giving possession back to the opposition. It's Real Madrid knocking it around at the moment, but then they've overhit a pass themselves again. Can't find Garcia on the left-hand side. Throw in. Taken quickly. Barrios, who's been one of the better players tonight. I've liked him. He's been tidy in that midfield for Atletico Madrid. Goes to the left-back, Azpilicueta. First time ball forward to Lino. Then around the corner for Alvarez. On the left-hand side. Can he take it around Asensio? No, he can't. It's good defending. It's really good defending. And he lifts it to the right-back, Vázquez, who's short ball forward. Means Camavinga has to tackle Alvarez, throwing in the final third for Atletico as we hit minute 120. Will we get any added on time? Because if we do, Atletico could create one more chance. I don't think there is any added on time, so this will be the last chance. It's going to be an Aspilicueta long throw-in. Soon as this action's over, it'll be penalty kicks. Aspilicueta throws it towards the near post, header away by Camavinga, and that will be that. A 29-second goal from Conor Gallagher is all that we've seen tonight in terms of goal scoring. It's been all Real Madrid for possession. Atletico look strong on the counter, but none of the two teams have been able to go on and win the game. It's ended 2-2 on aggregate after 2 legs and a lot of football that's been played. And like last night, we had Liverpool PSG penalty shootout. Now we've got the Madrid derby that's going to be settled on spot kicks. Let me just quickly sort out the board here. One moment. What a way to decide a Madrid derby on penalties. Do I have any penalty ones? Oh, no, I don't. So the top score, so we've got penalties, as you can see written, and the score directly below where it says 0-0, that will be the score for the penalties. As on the bench there is Courtois talking to his goalkeeping partner, Lunin, who's on the bench. I'm assuming they'll be going through last-minute notes, seeing which players usually put their penalties in which corner of the goal, maybe even down the middle. And it is situations like this where heroes and villains are made, the stories are written, and it's two pretty big goalkeepers. I mean, Courtois is slightly bigger, with 6'6", but Oblak's 6'2", and he can really fill that goal. So it's Vázquez and Oblak just sorting out which end the penalties are taken and who takes first. So the penalties will be taken down the right-hand side of the pitch. I'm not actually sure where the away fans are situated, so I don't think it really matters. There would have been Atletico Madrid fans behind both goals. So Real Madrid takes first, and we're taking him down the right side of the goal. Statistically, you've got more chance of winning if you do take first, but at the end of the day, you know, it does matter and it doesn't. You know, the shootout isn't over because Real Madrid take first. But, you know, statistically, the odds slightly shift in their favour. Atletico Madrid did go through last season in the last 16 against Inter Milan at home. They were knocked out in the next round. They were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Dortmund, but they got through to the quarterfinal after beating Inter Milan on penalties. So it's Real Madrid first, and possibly the man who should have took the penalty within the game will take the first one. Mbappe won a penalty in the second half around the 70th minute, brought down by Longley, and Vinicius Jr. was the one who ended up taking it. Tried to put it right in the top right corner, and he missed it, put it over the bar. Possibly, potentially, it should have been Mbappe taking that. But he didn't. But he's got his chance to put his team up in the shootout. Mbappe's first. Slots it bottom right corner. Perfect penalty. 1-0 Real Madrid. Oblak goes the wrong way. I still cannot believe Mbappe did not take that penalty within the game. He looks such a calmer presence than Vinicius Jr., who I think was only taking the penalty because his record against Atletico is pretty poor, so he probably just wanted to score against them because he doesn't do it very often. 1-0 to Real Madrid. One of the calmest penalties you'll see, honestly. Just so cool into the bottom right corner. Substitute Alexander Sorloth will take Atletico's first. He has once scored 4 in one game against Real Madrid last season for Villarreal. He now needs to get his new team, Atletico, on the board in this shootout. He's left-footed. Courtois making himself as big as possible. Sorloth with the penalty. Same corner as Mbappe, but he's absolutely slammed that into the bottom right corner. Courtois also going the wrong way. And even if Courtois went the right way, that would have been a difficult one to save. Sorloth hit that with all the energy he had in his body. And it's 1-1 after one penalty each. 2 really good pens as well. I can imagine the nerves and the tension in the Metropolitano is at an all-time high. Jude Bellingham is next for Real Madrid. Missed the first leg, suspended. He's been going at it all day in the game. Looks like he's never tired once in the match. And right-footed, he needs to dispatch the penalty, which he does. Same corner again. Bottom right corner. And once again, Oblak went the wrong way. 2-1 to Real Madrid. Bellingham with a very well-placed penalty. Hit hard as well. Not exactly in the corner, but of course when the keeper goes the wrong way, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as you get it on target, which he did. Pressure back on the home side, and it'll be Julian Alvarez to take their second. Had plenty of shots on goal at Courtois within the game, and all of them were pretty much saved, the ones that were on target. Can he score this time around? He has scored 3 in 6 against Madrid in his career. Needs to score from the spot. Short run up, right-footed. Slips, but gets it into the roof of the net. A huge sigh of relief goes through everyone that is associated with Atletico Madrid. My word, that was almost one that went sky high over the bar. Slipped, but just kept it under the bar. Oh, that's close. But it's 2-2 after 2 penalties each. Next up for Real Madrid is Federico Valverde. Started at right back, then moved into midfield during the second half. There's a delay. I think they're checking if Alvarez didn't kick the ball twice during his penalty. Because he did slip, but it didn't look like it took a double touch. It didn't look like he came off his right foot then onto his left. Did it? Oh, how'd you tell? I honestly don't know. Oh, has that come off his foot where it's give way? I don't think they... No. They're saying it didn't take 2 touches, so we go on. Still 2-2. Alvarez penalty, okay. Is Valverde's? Yes, it is. Bottom right corner again. This time Oblak went the right way. My word, he was close to it. Good penalty again from Valverde. You might remember during their road to the final, Real Madrid won a penalty shootout at the Etihad Stadium in the quarter-final stage, that was last season. Missed their first one, but then went on and scored the rest. Correa next. Oh, are they saying that the Correa... Did the Alvarez penalty count? Have they ruled it out? I honestly don't know. Because I just saw an X there. Correa's going to take next. We'll revisit that. Correa with a penalty. He slips as well. And it's onto the post and in off Courtois' right hand. Oh, Atletico Madrid are seriously just edging their way through this shootout. There's definitely no double touch on that one. And Courtois went the right way, off his right hand and off the post and in. They're saying Alvarez's penalty did not count. They're saying it missed. So, I'm assuming that it's Real Madrid that have the advantage and it's Vázquez to take it. Like I say, on the screen, on TV, they're saying that that Alvarez penalty doesn't count. Vázquez, right-footed, couple stutters and a save from Oblak. Dives to his left, and he keeps it out. Poor penalty. Really poor penalty from Lucas Vazquez. The man who's got the armband on at the moment has his penalty denied. And if that Alvarez penalty didn't count, we're now back square if Atletico can score this next one. Poor penalty from Vazquez. He scored his penalty in the shootout against Manchester City last season. He's missed this one. And Atletico need to score through Llorente to get the shootout back level. Llorente, off the crossbar! He went for the top left corner and he's put it too high. And Real Madrid have the advantage again. So Alvarez's penalty is classed as a miss. Because of a double kick. He slipped, and as he kicked it with his right foot, it just took a nick off his standing leg that gave way. So the shootout remains at 3-2. Llorente had to score to keep it alive. If Real Madrid score with Rudiger, they're through. Rudiger. Saved by Oblak and it goes in anyway. And Real Madrid win the Madrid derby on penalties after a frustrating night of not being able to break through the Atletico Madrid defence. They've been able to do it through spot kicks. It's a really poor penalty from Rudiger, but he could not give a care in the world. It squirmed its way through Jan Oblak, who went the right way, diving to his right. It's gone through him, and it's hit the back of the net. And Atletico Madrid crash out on penalties in their own backyard. Simeone trying to get the supporters applauding their team who have given it their all tonight. But it is Real Madrid who come out on top. Alvarez had his penalty in the back of the net. He took second for Atletico, but because he slipped and he kicked it onto his standing leg as he was falling to the ground, it's meant that VAR has disallowed his penalty. Oh, and Oblak, that is so close on that Rudiger penalty. Not exactly in the corner, not exactly hit with great power, but Oblak just could not push it away from goal. And Real Madrid, in the most dramatic of circumstances, go through to the last 8 to take on Arsenal. And despite the game not having a lot of final third quality, that penalty shootout's made up for it in terms of complete and utter tension, nerves and drama. The fact that Alvarez scored his penalty, but it was disallowed due to the fact that he'd slipped and it was that double hit. Kicking it with his right foot and then it hit in his standing left leg, which slipped. And then Llorente had a chance to make it 3-3 on penalties because Vazquez missed for Real Madrid, but then he hit the crossbar, which allowed Rudiger to take and score the winning penalty. Thank you to everyone who joined there at the end for the penalty kicks. Hope you enjoyed the live commentary of this Madrid derby in the last 16 of the Champions League. A 29-second goal, 29th-second goal from Conor Gallagher got the tie all square at 2-2. And from there, it was mainly Real Madrid with the possession, but Atletico looked dangerous on the break. They had plenty of chances themselves. Real Madrid didn't really create too many clear-cut opportunities. They won a penalty in the 70th minute. Mbappe winning the penalty and Vinicius Jr. missing it. And as we went on to extra time again, pretty even half an hour. And it's gone to penalties and Atletico won it by 4-2. Rudiger just squeezing in that final penalty. Oblak just couldn't get strong enough right hand. That is hard to watch. That penalty not be saved. And Real Madrid are 15-time champions for a reason. They just somehow always find a way through. And they have tonight. It wasn't pretty, but it's been an effective performance, taking in mind the fact they were a goal up on aggregate after the first leg. They kept it level. They tried to get that winning goal. It just never looked like they were going to get it. And penalties is how they've made their way through. And after extra time, it's 2-2 on aggregate after a 1-0 result after 120 minutes. And on penalties, it finishes Real Madrid 4 and Atletico Madrid 2. And it's going to be a Real Madrid-Arsenal quarter-final. We'll quickly go through the quarter-final lineup now, and then I'll end the live commentary. Wrong team won, great commentaries, mate. Yeah, potentially. In terms of chances created, Atletico Madrid certainly made better chances, despite not having a lot of the ball. But it's just how it goes, isn't it? Penalty kicks can go either way, and this time it's gone Real Madrid's way. So, for the quarter-final draw, now we will see Arsenal take on Real Madrid. PSG will face Aston Villa. Barcelona against Dortmund, and Bayern Munich against Inter Milan. Now, that is a really good set of quarterfinals, personally, for me. Each one of those games, I think any of those two teams could win. So, it's definitely one to look out for. I'll try my best to find time to commentate on one of the quarterfinals. I can't do Tuesday games, so it'll have to be the Wednesday games. So I'll try and do a first leg of one game and then a second leg of a different game. We'll just wait and see. But that is going to be the end of the live stream here. Hope you did enjoy the live commentary. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe if you have not or read it. But at the Metropolitano Stadium, it was a Madrid derby which went level after 30 seconds. It was Real Madrid who dominated the ball. Atletico with the better chances, but after 120 minutes, that aggregate scoreline couldn't go in one team's favour. So we've gone to penalties, and there was much drama in the penalty shootout. Alvarez scored his penalty, but it was disallowed after he slipped and it touched it and he kicked it onto his standing leg. Vázquez then missed his penalty, which allowed Atletico to get it level, but they weren't able to because Llorente smashed the crossbar, which allowed Rudiger to take the penalty to take them through, and somehow it went beyond Oblak, and it's a Real Madrid victory. And once again, they're through to the last 8, as here at the Metropolitano Stadium. It's 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate, but Real Madrid are through after winning 4-2 on penalties.